My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence, that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. This is the entity that is last night as I'm capturing them flying over the Metro 102 apartments, doing a cartwheel over those apartments over there while I'm standing at the opposite end near the parking lot. This is the entity that's flying over Mule Car. All right, while the fake moon is at Mule Car. And this is what the entity is doing on campus in Hope Boulevard, stalking. Southwest Airlines, the entity that's engaging in stalking into path by commercial planes flying over Hope Boulevard, which is in this direction. So while I'm walking on Hope Boulevard, which would be south of B Street, this is Euclid and B Street, the entity is following as I am will be southeast of this location yesterday on video, where the fake sun then rose at campus and Hope Boulevard, which is where the entity is engaging in psychopathic pacing by commercial planes. The entity is engaging in what is clear, blatant following around as early and as late. I've shown 5 o'clock in the morning, 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, where there are no planes that are even scheduled from the airport. The entity has been so caught engaging in stalking. You're looking at the entity that's providing a wealth of 24-hour means of presence with commercial planes, which is not the operation of that Ontario International Airport, by the way. The entity is engaging in this P.O.C, however, because of what I'm publishing on the internet, and it's prosecuting the people of the state. Because the airport is already, that is clear evidence showing targeting by that airport, and the people of the state are the ones that are stalking with light under the fake sun and under the fake moon with the gang stalking police, etc. They're engaging in this, in that environment, and the entity is engaging in that with it. Those are the people of the state that are third parties, and the Ontario International Airport is engaged in stalking in the place where I'm sleeping, doing so where the gang stalking people of the state, minors, are on video engaging in what is battery on behalf of that government. This is on video. This is the entity that's going to be prosecuted for that. This is P.O.C. This is stalking in the path with light, very precise, in front of newsboys' books. It's closed, nothing's open. The entity's engaging in this pattern of conduct routinely. They're engaging in that with regard to stalking with light, P.O.C. Alrighty, and this is the entity that's engaged in psychopathic pacing. This is a pattern of conduct. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. This is the entity that's engaged in this. I routinely document this at the square. They're engaging in what is stalking in the path in front of, in alignment to me. They're literally getting out their vehicle, walking to the door, and these are demons that are aware that they're being documented. They literally stop there, walk to the door, and walk back. The entity is engaging in what is stalking with light. Newsboys' books will be prosecuted. Euclid Family Dentistry will be prosecuted. Unique Cafe, Herradura de Oro, the entity that uses the venue, the Wells Fargo drive-through, using the venue as a means of surveillance, just getting out and using the ATM. There's no ATM here, so they walk to the door, touch the door, and walk back to the vehicle. This is the entity that is stalking at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, this is called relevant position, size placement in the path. This is what the entity does with the fake sun, and that's how you know that the entity is a stalker. Pacing with another demon with light activity. That's what you're looking at there. Mentally ill conduct. This is the entity that is stalking with light. P.O.C. All right, this is Securitas. You're going to pay attention to where the fake moon is, which is how you know she's stalking. This is not a security guard like A.G.S. at the Fontana Lewis Library. They're not engaged in security under the fake sun. They're engaged in stalking, which is also relevant to targeting when they wear these security uniforms, the ongoing harassment and gang stalking, and also kidnapping that Securitas has engaged in. Particularly, fake moon has moved back where the Ontario International Airport is stalking while I'm at B Street in Euclid as I walk behind Senior Center and the 280 North Limit Apartments. The enemy plane over here, and this demon is stalking with light activity. This is what she's doing under the fake sun as well. The fake sun that's right here at this walkway. This is the entity that's engaged in this. This is the targeting. These are demons. This is a demon that's wearing a security uniform. Securitas is going to be federally prosecuted, and they are monitoring right now, regardless of the hours that I'm here, regardless of the fact that she's wearing a uniform. She's stalking in the path and engaging in stalking with light, sexual assault and battery while wearing that uniform. That's the prosecution of that company. Now pay attention to the entity that is stalking under the fake moon that's moving, where there are no takeoffs from the airport. This is P.O.C. They are being federally prosecuted. Leo's going to prison. Dylan's being prosecuted. The entity engaging in kidnapping with the Ovid family community. This is P.O.C. This is light activity. This is a psychopath. She's stalking with light. She's literally over here subservient to the gang stalking. This is a puppet. This is federal stalking under Title 18. This is the Ontario City Hall parking lot. This is the Senior Center. This is the library. What are they typically doing while I'm over here? Flying right here over this building because I've moved in this direction. They're flying south of my person. She's stalking with light while the demons are pacing in the sky space. This is mentally ill behavior. Stalking with light and engaging in that as a population. These psychopathic patients, the demon is literally under the fake moon where the stalkers are stalking with commercial plane that literally just hovered over the parking lot and did a cartwheel. This is P.O.C. This is the African American with the mop on her head, engaging what is a very psychotic means of stalking. I'm capturing her under the fake sun at the same walkway, under that fake sun that's there at, as I'm showing in the morning, 8, 9, 10 in the morning. And she is there stalking in the path to the Page One Cafe, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the evening. She's engaged in what is very much psychotic. She is one in particular that is doing nothing other than stalking with light the entirety of the time that she's gang stalking. Very severely mentally ill conduct, in other words, is what I've documented. This is P.O.C. It's currently 6:07 a.m. where the Ontario International Airport is gang stalking with Securitas. The airlines are gang stalking with Securitas. Securitas is the co-conspirator of murder. Securitas are going to be, like Leo, is going to federal prison. All right. And this is also a basis of federal prison, serial stalking. This is the P.O.C. They do this with the Ovid Family Community Library as well. This is all. Alrighty. Here is the environment where Securitas is engaged in stalking, not security. Okay. This is P.O.C. All right, I took pictures of what they're doing, which is she's in position for them to fly over the building. They're doing a cartwheel because I'm capturing so early, but you need to see where she's stalking. She's monitoring with the Ontario City Hall. Here's my shot in front of me and to the side. This is the Ontario City Hall. Has commercial planes flying over it. There's no airports over here. There are no planes that are doing cartwheels over the parking lot of the City Hall in the same way when they're flying over this walkway while I'm seated at the library. This is positioning for stalking with light. This is Securitas that's engaging in criminal activity right now. She's engaged in criminal monitoring. She's monitoring me over here where the demons are stalking with plane after plane after plane. It is currently 6:14 a.m. and this is what the entity is doing as you're looking at the mentally ill objective of stalking with light. They're doing so while the entity keeps a fake sun, as I've also shown in this area. This is the entity that's engaged in this. This is the Ontario City Hall, Paul Leon. This is criminal activity that the mayor is engaged in while the entity is stalking at that city hall with the people of the state in concert with the city that's engaged in that criminal activity together. There are no takeoffs here, none. The entity is engaging in the pattern, the same thing at Campus and Hope Boulevard, engaging in cartwheels, FedEx, UPS, and the entity that is gang stalking Southwest Airlines over that intersection, engaging in what is stalking at that intersection, doing the same thing at the Stater Brothers, where the people of the state are stalking in the path with light. This is P.O.C. and that's the fake moon right here. This is the entity that is indeed targeting. You're looking at all the hallmarks. When the entity engages in the pattern of, this is facilitation. They're stalking and monitoring together. Audible activity, relevant positioning, light activity. And this is the Ontario the John Stewart Senior Citizen Apartment Complex where the airport is maintaining serial flight and where the so-called security guard is sharing in that ongoing public nuisance. They're monitoring together under the light source, speaking to the bullseye where the targeting conduct is underway. And this is no security guard. These are not security guard services. This is surveillance. AGS is stalking with light when I'm showing you that light activity and they're pacing in and out of the section of the library and that light's all on the ceiling and on the wall. They're doing that while they are pacing with light, while the entity is stalking with commercial planes and maintaining a method of light activity under the fake moon. The entity AGS is doing that in Fontana under the fake sun. The entity that's engaging, this is City of Ontario, City of Fontana, as I'm showing you the pattern of conduct. They're doing that as an entity. And by the way, the City of Fontana is stalking with commercial planes over my head at the Fontana Lewis Library. There's not even an airport in Fontana. This is the entity that is clearly stalking. This is P.O.C. because this is relevant ways in which Securitas in particular is going to be federally prosecuted. This is severe mental illness. Severe mental illness, even while they drive away as I document and while this predator sits here and is being documented. This is severe mental instability. This is a demon-possessed person. The conduct with the light centering around the light is the evidence of that mental illness and the airport. Paul Leon's being removed from all criminal activity that I'm subject to, including stalking me by helicopters and by the commercial airlines in the City of Ontario, is removing him from office. He's engaging in that. He's also liable for it and being unfit to be in office while an American citizen is subject to that in the City of Ontario. This is P.O.C., which again, the demons that are in these positions are not ignorant of. This is the evidence that's going to remove them from those positions. It is the pattern of conduct. It is currently 6:17 a.m. The entity is concentrating this plane activity. This is what they're doing at the Stater Brothers. This is what they're doing yesterday at Campus and Holt. This is what they're doing while I am remaining at any location such as the B&G Plaza, while I am traveling, walking through the neighborhood. This is what they're concentrating over the Ontario City Hall. Don't forget this. because this is also where the entity is keeping the fake sun and the fake moon. This is that pattern of conduct. And it centers around the people of the state that are subservient. This is the beast system. P.O.C. Alrighty, that's the entity that's engaging in that conduct. I want you to see where the entity is hovering with planes. They're flying miles the airport to then engage in hovering over my location. Stalking, by definition. This is the mentally ill behavior. Andy WAPNER, the gang members on the Ontario Airport Board, and the executive team are responsible for the criminal activity that the people of the state, just like the Ontario Police Department are. They're engaged in, they're doing so while I am capturing this pattern of conduct underway in Pomona, California, in Fontana, California. And the airlines are being federally prosecuted as terrorists. They're stalking in furtherance of murder. Okay, but their failed conspiracy is it's already foiled, and they're still engaging in it. So now you are able to educate about how the beast system operates, how the government is monitoring you, and how the people of the state are subservient to that. These are demon-possessed people that are monitoring, and they're doing so together, the sky space and on the ground. This is what they're doing with regard to what is not traffic. It's not traffic when they're creating light activity on the roads and the highways. They're pacing. And the entity's doing the same thing in the sky space under things like the fake moon and the fake sun that you see over me. This is, and the people of the state will be prosecuted. As they act with the Ontario Police, it's criminal summoning. As they act with the Ontario International Airport, it's that same criminal pattern of conduct, which is also psychologically harmful. Securitas is engaged in years of targeting, and I'm going to prosecute them and all the demons that they hired to gang stalk me. I'm going to prosecute all of them, okay? This one with the bad wig and all the rest of them that engaged in kidnapping over the years with the Ovid Family Community Library. This is P.O.C. This is surrounding. Nobody's there. Now someone is there. This is stalking in the path. Studying their devices. This is what the demons are doing. And they're all vagina monitors. All of them. Violent sex offenders, including under the age of majority. That's what you saw last night. Okay? This 12-and-a-half-year-old with ashy kneecaps stalking in the middle of the night. That's what the people of the state are breeding. This is what they share in. And this is the government. This is the government's handiwork. Pollyanna is being removed from office as I'm exposing public corruption, which is a threat to an American citizen, and it is a violation of human rights. P.O.C. The senior citizen complex is the basis where they're engaging in this conduct. This is violating clear zoning rules. This is a multifamily zone. No airport is maintaining flights like this. The entity is doing the same thing with the police department. The reason why the senior citizen complex is not placing any complaints about their violation of quiet enjoyment and the area is because the senior citizens are gang stalking in Ontario. That's why. This is P.O.C. It is, again, like I stated, when you're seeing the people of the state gang stalking 6:20 a.m. P.O.C. P.O.C. And that's where the fake moon is retired. And this is where the fake sun is, and this is where Securitas is positioned. Pay attention. She's stalking under the fake moon on this side of that parking lot over there. Fake moon is retired. Fake sun rises where I'm located, where the entity is stalking, and a demon is stalking with light in the path. This is Securitas gang stalking. This is not engagement in security. This is no constitutionally protected right. She's not doing her job. She's monitoring. This is surveillance, and this is the beast system, and this is also looking at mental illness. This is a threat. It's a threat to themselves. It's a threat to the public. It's a threat to children. It's a threat while they're engaging in psychopathic behaviors in plain view. It's conspicuous surveillance. And as you're going to prosecute Ontario, you're going to prosecute the mentally ill that are engaging in the pattern of conduct. This is the same walkway where the fake sun is setting right here on this side, where I am capturing this demon that is stalking while imposter underneath the walkway. She's targeting in every regard. Okay, and by the way, she comes and takes position while the planes start flying. She is getting in position as terrorism as she's being documented. This is a psychopath, a vagina monitor. Okay, this is the P.O.C. This is City of Ontario. This is the exact video that's going to put co-defendants in prison, showing the pattern of conduct by the City of Ontario, showing the ongoing criminal objective, the existence of the beast system as I'm showing you from city to city. This is P.O.C. and it's currently 7:09 a.m. And like I stated in the X thread, what you're going to pay attention to, first of all, this is Impossible Light, and I'm capturing video in the where the entity has fake sun underneath this walkway after 5 p.m. coming underneath all these slots coming up toward me. This is Impossible Light, stalking with light, mentally ill. They're monitoring. This is not the sun and it's not sunlight, and she's engaging in this for the duration of her shift. This is the entity Securitas that's engaged in criminal monitoring. The entities engaged in this pattern of conduct, like I stated in the X thread, pay attention to March 3rd, 2026, where the entities engaging in what is the unlawful and discriminatory expulsion from Ovid Family Community Library, that's gang stalking, with the airport. gang stalking with Securitas, gang stalking with the people of the state, doing so under the fake sun and making assertions and doing so. And with the Ontario police, don't forget them because they're stalking while the fake sun remains here until the evening while you're seeing it here at 7:09 a.m. The entity is maintaining what is light activity. You'll see her, psychopath. You see it here at 7. I just up fake sun here, 10 o'clock in the morning, and you're looking at the Ontario International Airport gang stalking. That link is attached. You can go to my website at P.O.C.wordpress.com, and you're going to see the fake sun hovering over me, and I'm capturing the same exact conduct where the Ontario City Hall is shown to be engaged in the pattern of conduct, the beast system, and Paul Leon is not ignorant. He's a demon. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. This is where the entity is maintaining plain activity stalking, and this is the City of Ontario's criminal engagement and criminal monitoring. Flying over the senior citizen apartment complex, doing so where the aged people, I'm sure, need their sleep at 5 and 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning, but they are not engaging in what is sleeping in the same way that Securitas is not engaged in security services. They are, however, under the fake sun, showing the pattern of conduct at the Family Community Library, where the entity is concentrating plain activity. Remember yesterday, this is, like I stated, what FedEx, Southwest Airlines, UPS, in other words, the commercial airlines gang stalking with the City of Ontario are targeting me with, where that fake sun was rising at campus and Hope Boulevard. Remember when I got on the bus, and I'm documenting employee number 3400 at 7:14 a.m. I'm already on the bus, and I am capturing that fake sun shining through the windshield, which is not going to be this. Okay, and remember, this doesn't go anywhere because it's here at 10:04 a.m. where C. Gerber on March 3rd, 2026 is gang stalking me under that fake sun. During daylight savings time, that will be 11 a.m. There's no provision for the sun to be over me on Omnitrans like I documented employee gang stalking employee number 3400 while I'm aboard Route 61 going to the city of Fontana. At 7:37 a.m. that fake sun is remaining over me at 9720 Juniper and San Bernardino Avenue in Fontana, California. That is not this, which is what I'm documenting, where the fake sun remains here, where Securitas is under this fake sun at the same time, which is already on the record. The Ontario International Airport are stalking, and they're stalking over the senior citizen complex, over the Ontario City Hall, where I have the fake sun over me at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, at 9:30 in the morning, at 11 o'clock in the morning. This is the entity that's engaging in that pattern of conduct. There is no sun that's going to be remaining for the duration of any bus route, okay, let alone what I'm documenting yesterday at the same time, 7:37 a.m., which is coming up at 7:21 a.m., and the entity is keeping the fake sun planted at the gang stalking facility, which is the Ovid Family Community Library, who are making malicious assertions and admitting to my social media that they are keeping under surveillance. Okay, and then using that criminal surveillance, all the information that they are unlawfully gaining to then expel me from the venue while they're engaging in what is vagina monitoring and making malicious assertions as though I am the sex offender. That is the same thing with regard to the pedophiles who have made malicious assertions regarding my being a child molester. Remember June 16, 2022, the entity that's engaging in what is false assertions, malicious assertions regarding me harassing the entity that I'm documenting, gang stalking like this, threatening my life, while they are engaging in what I'm documenting is the ongoing program of psychological torture and harassment in furtherance of murder. While you have the ASIN entity, which I have as a matter of record, which is the prosecution of the U.S. government, the prosecution of demons like C. Gerber under the fake sun that is here, what would be 3 hours from now. He's going to prison, and so is Sean Thrasher, while I'm documenting that P.O.C., the fake sun over me, while employee 3400 is competing under the fake sun with the demons at the Ovid Family Community Library, like the Securitas, like the gang stalking pilots of the airlines, like the demons inside of the Ontario City Hall. This is the P.O.C., the demons that are aboard Omnitrans Route 61 into the city of Fontana. It is currently 7:23 a.m. This is the city of Ontario. They're stalking inside of the downtown Ontario luxury apartments. The evidence has the fake sun over me at the Arco parking lot. I already captured that. The entity is keeping the fake sun over the Stater Brothers parking lot. I already documented that. This is not happening at the same time, and it's also not in Fontana, in alignment to me on that bus, which is what I'm capturing. And he is engaging in that conduct together, and they are going to prison. License 9XBL292, wages malicious assertions, is a violent sex offender in custody of minor children, sharing in what is the beast system, and they're engaging in this as a pattern of conduct. That's why the pattern of conduct is underway in Fontana, where Amazon Prime Air is flying over my head, where the fake sun is over me and I'm in the city of Fontana, where there's not even an airport for the city of Fontana to engage in targeting like the city of Ontario is, even though the presence of the airport in Ontario is not helping Southwest Airlines, who is a very heavily documented terrorist, engaging in what is stalking and targeting, not only proven through the environment, but proven through where they are stalking, where there's no terminals that are going to reconcile why Southwest Airlines is hovering in this sky space and doing so as the frequency that I'm documenting, creating that public nuisance while they're engaged in what is criminal monitoring. That's why, okay? The fake sun is relevant with regard to prosecuting the entity that is engaged in this demonic means of surveillance. This is P.O.C. Employee number 3400 is also responsible, sharing in the gang violence that I'm talking about while Omnitrends is targeting me and engaging in what is not arriving at the bus stop like I'm documenting at the Starbucks at 706 West Hall Boulevard, while the Ontario International Airport are stalking at San Antonio Avenue and Hope Boulevard. These are the demons that forget all this evidence, but you're not, and that's why you document it. Under the fake sun, they were engaging in the same ongoing campaign, that public nuisance, plane after plane, dipping like they're landing over there, which is west of this location. All right, but this is where they're engaging in that conduct. They're not even coming from the airport. Neither are they coming from the airport at San Antonio and Holt Boulevard. The entity is engaging in what is ongoing criminal summoning with the Ontario Fire Department, stalking at that intersection, and Omnitrends is not arriving, which is targeting. The entity engaging in what is driving past me while I'm clearly visible at the bus stop last night because I'm documenting terrorists like 30 employee 3400 gang stalking me while driving the bus, stalking on the roads and highways just like the people of the state are, okay? The entities engaged in this minors and doing so with those that cannot even wash themselves and have nowhere to live, but they're outside engaging in the beast system. They're subservient to the P.O.C, gang stalking with the government. And I documented this demon before. He was dirty that day, stalking right here with dirt all over his clothes, gang stalk under this fake sun, and I walked away and I documented that fake sun remaining over me as I traveled to another location. This is the P.O.C, and that's called a serial stalker. They will be going from sleeping outside to sleeping in federal cells. This is P.O.C. This is the entity he's standing that's underneath the covered structure. Let me show you how much of a demon he is. Southwest Airlines is gang stalking with him. The entity cannot do it without the people of the state who are driving, stalking, and he's monitoring with the demons inside of the parking garage with Securitas that's creating light activity, and this is light that's just manifesting out of nowhere underneath a covered structure. P.O.C. This is impossible light activity, and it's also not aboard Omnitrends, not the product of the sun, and there's only one. CLNSCLN is gang stalking together. That's the pattern of conduct. This is through the windshield of Omnitrends Route 61 in Fontana at 9720 at 7:37 a.m. is not reflecting off of the downtown Ontario luxury apartments. Also, not remaining over the entrance of the over Family Community Library until sunset, shining on me just like that while I'm inside of this computer lab after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, while it's remaining over me in Fontana, while it's remaining while I'm aboard that bus, street for street, turn for turn. Those are the demon possessed that are engaging in the pattern of conduct. This is the beast system, and the beast system is going to put terrorists in prison. License plate 9WMU446, and it's public corruption because the beast system is underway by those that give birth to demons. Their minor children are gang stalking. That's what you saw last night. They are threats. They're engaging in the pattern of conduct. The entity is engaging in criminal conduct, and they disregard ages and everything. They're all sex offenders. They're all engaging in the criminal monitoring system, and they're all doing so while they engage in surveillance, which is proven. This is the pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C. The demon possessed are mentally ill. 8 Victor Xavier Wendy 878. And this demon is standing monitoring while they're engaged in psychopathic pacing, which is the purpose of the entity maintaining flight right here over the senior citizen complex. The demon possessed elders are not complaining because they are a part of that beast system. The entity stalking by helicopter, wealth of documentation over the years. Criminal summoning, wealth of documentation over the years. Stalking by the airport, over the venue, wealth of documentation over the years. Fake sunrise and set, wealth of documentation over the years. P.O.C. This is psychopathic behavior, and this entity engaged in defamation. They're going into mental institutions. That's what's happening. They're going to mental institutions and they're going to prison. They're going to the entity. They're going to be essentially on 23-hour lockdown. Okay, and this is relevant to the prosecution of the entity. They're going to be in mental wards, and they're going to prison. 9NNG897. And they're doing so where the fake sun is here. So this is an entity that is stalking as a population, and this is what they're doing under the fake moon. Okay? This is P.O.C. These are a population of vagina monitors. This is what Securitas is going to be prosecuted. I'm going to use this as a template because I'm prosecuting everybody. Everyone. This is the P.O.C. It is currently, that's the Ontario Town Square. This is where the entity was stalking with the fake moon, and I walk back here, and then the fake moon's over here, and Securitas is stalking in the path with light, and Securitas is doing the exact same thing at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when this fake sun is still here. And I'm documenting that also inside of the Ovid Family Community Library, showing you the fake sun that doesn't go anywhere. In fact, it's setting still at this Wells Fargo location while I'm at this entrance door, where you're looking at inexplicable light. It's totally separate and having nothing to do with the fake sun that you see here that's reflecting off of that window and causing light to appear under this entrance. These are demons. Demons don't have a purpose, and he's not different because he's sleeping outside and he's got visible dirt on him. It's the same with these demons that are driving around in the overly consumed, overrated Teslas, okay, and a Nissan. They're just as filthy, by the way. They're just as psychotic. They're just as criminal. It's not different. It's just that he's engaged in gang stalking, and this one hasn't had a shower. That's the only difference. There is no difference with regard to the law and the criminal system. Satan is possessing both of them. They're engaging in that conduct together, and they're engaged in monitoring on devices in the environment. And that's how you have that pattern of conduct. The gang stalkers of AGS monitoring, staring at their devices while engineer light is crawling on the wall beside. That's what I'm documenting inside of Fontana Lewis Library. These demons are going to prison. Okay, this is prison. This is psychological torture, sexual violence. The entity is doing so while they're engaging in that P.O.C. They're delusional, and that delusion is going to cause what is a huge wake-up call. A huge wake-up call, one that you're going to witness, and it is in the form of a prosecution. This is P.O.C. It is 7:30 a.m. where the city of Ontario is engaging in that pattern of conduct shared by all of the commercial airlines. They're engaging in pacing, which is what the entity is doing in the sky space. The entity is doing so inaudibly with the planes that are creating the cloud paths. The commercial airline planes are a guise for activity, while the entity is maintaining all manner of aerial surveillance. But for whatever reason, the entity wants you to see the commercial airline planes, and that is no guise for the Ontario International Airport. It's showing you that the companies, all of them, are relevant for the federal RICO case, and they're doing so while the city of Ontario is maintaining surveillance all around in the sky space. Okay, the commercial planes are used for being more comfortable. You seeing Southwest Airlines and Amazon Prime Air? No, there's no comfort there. I'm going to prosecute them. I'm going to prosecute the city of Ontario. I'm going to prosecute those companies. They're terrorists together. It's the state and the people of the state. This is P.O.C., where this asset, I'm prosecuting the entire entity, down to the bus drivers in the city of Fontana and Pomona, Montclair. They're targeting. This is P.O.C. It is currently 7:31 a.m. Alrighty, the video documentation that you're listening to, every license plate that are captured in the video that I recite, that are visible, it's a means of documenting that as many of the people of the state that are sharing in that unlawful threat, conspiring murder by targeting. And this is the beast system that the government utilized to conspire my murder, and is actively, because they're gang stalking, the government that is doing it in front of everyone is not secretly engaging in targeting anymore, and is not successful with trying to defame my character while secretly targeting to get away with theft of my inheritance behind this beast system, where the entity is targeting you with those who you know, like Tracy Banks and Eric Spencer. And Tracy Banks, that's been targeting with corrupt actors like the Ontario Police Department, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, the entity that is engaging in that with corrupt actors like Jason Isaac Fields, the entity that's targeting with the U.S. military. This is the entity that engaged in seeking to murder me, all those actors involved. Accordingly, Jason Isaac Fields, for example, this is a particularly delusional actor who is, like I stated, still engaging under the facts and trying to accomplish murder. This is the entity that's engaging in this in the face of the whole world that's watching. There will be no successful loss of life. The entities expose the fact that the beast system is here. The beast system is a system of surveillance. It is what the entity refers to as gang stalking. Gang stalking intentionally and deliberately maintained as a fallacy, as a story that's a conspiracy theory maintained by those that are suffering from some mental incapacity. This is a part of the U.S. government's pattern of conduct to maintain the illusion of the government that's not engaging in any of that, and that's exactly what the government is engaging in. It is referred to as gang stalking because the entity is keeping you under surveillance, and they're doing so 24 hours a day. They're doing so in the specific environment, which I've shown you, and they're doing so in ways that show that they are mentally ill, not just keeping you under surveillance. The entity and the environment is stalking one person that they are targeting together. That is a gang of demons that are acting as the government, stalking you. It is gang stalking. It's an appropriate title. It is no conspiracy theory. It is what Tracy Banks and Jason Fields and Eric Spencer, the state of California, utilized to try to murder me while they have repeatedly kidnapped me. They have already stolen my wealth. This is why I'm outside proving the case against the U.S. government. The entities engaging in this conduct while terrorists like the Ontario International Airport, like the city of Fontana, the city of Pomona, the city of Montclair, et cetera, the entity that is engaging in this conduct are doing so with regard to that pattern of conduct in concert with that population indiscriminately. You have what is the entity that sought to accomplish murder. Those are the same actors that are not coming anywhere near me. Jason Isaac Fields will never be anyone other than one that threatens my life. That's the U.S. government. The entity that's engaging in this pattern of conduct, and I just want to be clear as I'm documenting that, this is someone that is under no circumstances has any right or authority to be in custody or control or have access to any of my resources. This is no one that's going to come and deliver secret information to me about this entity that I need to know about Tracy Banks that I don't care about hearing from some vagina monitor like himself that's been dissecting Tracy Banks. Excuse my French, but this is the reality. He's a pervert, and so is Tracy Banks, and so are all of them having sex with each other. This is a demon-possessed entity. The beast system is centered around that Jezebel spirit, where they are engaging in promiscuity together. They're engaging in adultery together. They're engaging in fornication together. They're engaging in pedophilia together. They're engaging in voyeurism together. They're engaging in perversion, sexual perversion together. That's how I'm showing you what is the pattern of conduct, but it's also what they do with each other. And these are demon sex offenders that have been, intoxicated with the Jezebel spirit. They're demon possessed, and they have been convinced that their sexual perversion gives them spiritual authority, and you're watching me prosecute and show them that that is a lie out of the pit of hell. They are embarrassed, and they are nothing other than demon possessed stalkers. They're stalking, that's it. And they are admittedly engaging in stalking. They are wearing the fact that they are stalking me like a badge of honor. This is an entity that is indeed mentally ill. They are obsessed with me. Their obsession is because they are demon possessed, and they include terrorists like Jason Isaac Fields, who are no partner of mine, who will never be permitted in my presence, who commit a federal offense were they to come into my presence, just like Tracy Banks has, just like Eric Spencer has, and I'm going to prosecute because that's the government that's threatening my life, literally engaging in that pattern of conduct in real time, while the audible activity is that which, oh, how are you? Do you want something to eat? Like I need them to eat, or I need them for anything and I never have. This is an entity that is codependent and engaged in what is financially attacking me so that elderly demons and crooks and frauds like Tracy Banks can keep themselves latched to me while they're having sex with everyone in my social circle, like what Jason Fields used to be. I do not associate with him, and I never will. There will be no reconciliation. This is showing the threat that they all pose, they being the entity whose name I know. Jason Isaac Fields having any access to my property, coming into my presence, it is federal prison. He is already subject to federal prison for what this entity is still doing, which he is responsible for. And there is no information provided to the federal government that's changing that, in the same way that I'm still subject to it. The mentally ill are engaging in this, and I just want to be clear, whether or not you are receiving prophetic messages regarding the beast system, the proof of that, which you have never witnessed. Yes, it is the reality of Christ Jesus. I just want you to understand that this is a prosecution. And the one that is giving prophetic messages is prosecuting. And I am not going to suffer any loss with regard to the application of federal law because of my identity. Understand that it's both at the same time. Okay, I'm going to prosecute. This is the prosecution. In fact, I am the one that's being able to speak on behalf of Christ Jesus and reveal this because I'm also providing what is justice. And it is justice while those are witnessing, those that are in this country and outside of this country that are subject to this, who are becoming made aware of what the enemy is doing to those who are called by Christ Jesus. Okay, I am prosecuting, however. I'm prosecuting the U.S. government, while Southwest Airlines is admitting that the U.S. government is maintaining a beast system, while the Ontario International Airport is admitting that the U.S. government is maintaining a beast system, while this mop head with the Securitas golf cart is admitting that the U.S. government is maintaining a beast system, while the people of the state are stalking with their minor children who are born mentally ill, born with demon possession, are admitting that they are engaging in the beast system, while every business in the state of California are engaging in the pattern
pattern of conduct and admittedly engaging in the beast system that is thereby established, which is in conformity to the documented pattern of conduct. This is the entity that's engaging in that, and that is supernatural, not just a pattern, but a supernatural one. And I am also federally prosecuting the U.S. government. The U.S. government seeking to murder me includes Jason Isaac Fields, who will never be permitted in my presence. This is a terrorist, and just like any other terrorist, you hear me telling Tracy Banks, she is a stalker, she is a threat to stay away from me. That is exactly the identical message for Jason Isaac Fields. When I move away, when I receive what it is that this entity sought to steal from me, Jason Isaac Fields is not handing it to me. He's not sharing in it. He's not going where I am going. He represents the same U.S. government that sought to murder me, is still trying to engage in that, and they are delusional. Satan has lost in what was supposed to be a covert and elite mission, and now you're looking at Satan being a bare bones enemy that is in denial about that triumphant, victorious defeat in Christ Jesus' name. Because this is spiritual warfare, but this is spiritual warfare where the demons have learned they're nothing other than STD infected stalkers. That's what they're shown as. They're all walking around with HIV. They're walking around with STDs while they've been engaged in sex rituals, centering around their obsession with me, and all it got them is time in prison and mental institutions, because that's where they're going. Stalking me by helicopter, they're going into mental institutions. They're done with law enforcement. Stalking with your kids, showing a pattern of conduct, they're losing custody of minor children, who are also going to be federally prosecuted as terrorists in the U.S. As you are aware of the fact that demon possession is affecting all of those within the entity, and therefore they will not be treated, as though they're innocent bystanders, unaware of what they're doing, incapable of appreciating. I have shown the knowledge, the malice, the intent, the ongoing course of conduct, which is criminal monitoring, which those of all ages are sharing in. And the entity that's doing so with like toddlers and babies, those gang stalking so-called parents, which is an oxymoron. You're not a parent when you're engaging in this, but nonetheless, they're giving birth to the demons. They will be subject to a federal prosecution, and it includes prison, okay, and permanent loss of custody. The entity, they don't care about that. They are obsessed with me. You need to understand that, because it's the spirit of Satan that is compelling them, the spirit of Satan that animates them, including the demon that you see on the golf cart with the Securitas. You see that demon is stoic. She is not abandoning position. She is stalking. She's mentally ill. That's obsession that you're looking at. That's an obsessed stalker that you're looking at. While the entity is stalking obsessively, and the government is admitting to engaging in what is unfathomable, and in court, it's going to be very expensive, and it's also going to be costly with regard to loss of liberty, because they're going to prison. They're going to be put in cells. On this side of justice, the mentally ill that are demon-possessed serving Satan and in denial about that loss, here on earth and in the spirit, are engaging in conduct which is proving the reality of the beast system that's already been here, and the beast system that is going to become more aggressive and more less covert, because it has been exposed and proven. So you're talking about the entity that's going to put limits on what you already know. Those, well, not everyone knows, but those that have not heard, you need to surrender your life today to Christ Jesus, because he is coming back. That's what this is about. He's coming back, and he's coming back in judgment. And before he comes back, there are things that must occur. And it includes, for example, the entity that is going to stop people from being able to trade, from being able to even access food and medicine, like those that are already subservient to this beast system. It's going to become more aggressive and more violent. You're not going to have your constitutional rights like you already don't have them now. It's an illusion. The entity is going to stop entertaining that illusion, and you will flat out not be able to engage in what is buying any food, being able to get any gas for your car, being able to exercise what are ordinary rights and privileges incidental to being an American citizen in the U.S. All that's going out the window, and it's going to be based upon whether you take on the so-called mark of the beast. This is the beast system is already in operation, and this entity tried to murder me, and it includes Jason Isaac Fields. And as I have proven that, Jason Isaac Fields will never be coming into my presence. This is not a friend of mine. These are demons that are engaging in witchcraft. They're cloaking themselves in the spirit. So I'm speaking to what the entity is doing, and I have the ability to do that and the authority to do that, because I told you beforehand, before I documented the wealth of the evidence of the P.O.C, I said what they're doing. So nobody's imagining anything. And these demons are spiritually attacking, and they're cloaking themselves as trying to hide their identity. Jason Isaac Fields is delusional with regard to thinking that he's going to come into my presence and avoid being federally prosecuted for it. This is an entity that, such as Tracy Banks, she's a witch. She's engaging in what is gang stalking still. She's spiritually attacking, psychological torture. She's still plotting with the demons that I'm documenting from city to city. Now, I want to be clear, Tracy Banks isn't meeting with these people physically. These are demons. They are spiritually attacking. The entire state is filled with the demon possessed. The beast system is operated by the demon possessed. That is indeed, like I stated, a population of, as you're getting to their behavioral health issue, these are the mentally ill. They're all demon possessed, and they have access to planes and helicopters. They're in law enforcement and in the court system. They are in engaged in the practice of law and the practice of medicine, and that's to maintain and propel and perpetuate this beast system. And I've documented the ongoing corruption of and the execution of that beast system as I've been documenting the entity seeking to murder me by focusing on trying to defame my character, and that is criminal defamation, distinct from the tortious act of defamation that is resulting in what you have to prove with regard to pecuniary harm, okay, and that is published. The entity's monitoring. It's automatically published. There's no privacy. Second of all, it's serving the criminal pattern of conduct pursuant to surveillance and furtherance of murder. You're going to prison for that. This is what the gang stalking medical professionals engage in. This is what the gang stalking law enforcement agencies engage in. This is what the gang stalkers, the people of the state, engage in. This is what Ovid Family Community Library engages in while they are gang stalking. And the P.O.C. is providing the ability to exhibit. They are exhibiting their malice while the system of surveillance is proven, and then you're looking at everything that they're saying and doing with regard to seeking to set up, manufacture circumstances to target that targeted individual, especially with the intent to obstruct justice because you're hostile, because I'm prosecuting you, which is an unlawful intrusion in a case. While you're trying to murder me and you think you're going to stop that case, you're delusional and you're going to prison. That is Sean Thrasher, the director at the Ovid Family Community Library. The city of Ontario, the gang stalkers themselves, where the airport and the police and the fake sun and the fake moon, where that entity is engaged in that. Paul Leon is no mayor. That's a prosecution of that office, of that city council. It's a prosecution of that population who are on video, license plate after license plate after license plate after license plate. And this is for the public to witness. The beast system is established in California. You need to understand you're under a fake sun out in Idaho and in Mississippi and in New York and in Florida. Okay, this is the fake sun in Arizona and in Texas and Nevada. And I even went into Nevada to show you that pattern of conduct. There's only one sun, and the imbeciles in California kept one over me from sunrise until sunset. And I'm showing you how you're analyzing very clearly the fact that the demon driving Omnitrans with employee 3400 while I'm driving to Fontana on San Bernardino Avenue facing east on that specific street, and I'm staying at the Ovid Family Community Library at the same time, you're looking at that targeting conduct in an environment that is supernatural. And in that supernatural environment, that's where the police are stalking, that's where the airports are stalking, that's where the airlines are stalking, where there's no airport in that city. That's a pattern of conduct. The entities engaging in that environment with the people of the state who have the uncanny ability to sling and fling light everywhere. They are demons. They are demons who are stalking. They are demons who are stalking with minor children. They are demons that have positions that they are abusing and engaging in that, such as the municipalities, the city of Fontana employees, the city of Ontario employees, while the gang stalkers that are calling themselves mayors are funding terrorism. And that's exactly what that's treated as under law. Under the law, you're providing what are forums that are being abused for criminal activity. The mayor is providing and setting aside funds to ostensibly provide resources for the city to engage in this activity and fund this measure to provide these services and these resources when they're simultaneously engaging in the pattern of conduct. I've documented that. Or you're providing housing, you're paying for my voucher for the hotel room while you're monitoring my vagina. This is what the city of Ontario, and that's funding terrorism, and I'm prosecuting simultaneously everyone at the same time. And I'm showing an unmistakable pattern of conduct that is beyond any way to engage in any sort of coincidence. While I go from city to city, including county to county, literally location, position to position. They're engaging in the stalking with psychopathic pacing and planes at Campus and Holt, at the Stater Brothers parking lot, while I am at the Ovid Family Community Library on the side of the Ovid Family Community Library. The entity is doing this while I'm at the Arco parking lot, at the Arco in between the Chevron at East Street and Euclid, where the entity is engaged in this pattern of conduct as I'm walking up and down Euclid Avenue, maintaining the campaign at the bus stop. These are the venues where the entity is engaged in stalking. And then when I'm at what is Inland Empire Boulevard and Archibald, the entity is stalking. What airport is coinciding with that? Oh, because there's an airport in the city, then the entity is surmising, oh, well, we can have, no, you cannot. And it's very clear targeting. Okay, very clear. And the entities engaging in that while they are being documented. The idiots did it as a matter of documentation. In fact, Southwest Airlines, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Amazon Prime Air, FedEx, the entity that is gang stalking via United Airlines, Frontier Airlines, every single last airline, Starlux, and the airports themselves are sharing in surveillance, and they engage in more exaggerated, psychopathic is what that is, more mentally ill demonstrations of stalking, like what Amazon Prime Air is doing at the Fontana Lewis Library, flying over my head at the Fontana Civic Center, hovering. And then at the entrance of the Fontana Lewis Library, flying over my head with commercial planes. That is fine. You all know, thereby, the beast system is real. The pattern of conduct includes stalking by commercial airline planes, which the government that's maintaining aerial surveillance in smaller planes, inaudibly stalking all around in the sky space over me, following me around, while the people of the state are all cockroaches in the engineer light, pacing all around, stalking with light, under the fake sun, in the engineer light that is present day and night. That's what that is. That's confirmation. Because the entity that's engaged in that level of asininity is serving to prosecute itself and serving to confirm to you that the pattern is indeed that pattern. This is P.O.C. The entity, in other words, has sought to try to murder me, and that includes Jason Isaac Fields, who will never be in my presence. Now, where I go, with regard to a safe alternative from California that tried to murder me so that I would not be able to give you this information about the existing beast system that is a threat to your life. While you're going to work and you are an upright citizen and you've never violated the law, okay? The entities engaged in the maintenance of this surveillance system, you are under surveillance, and you are at any moment at a threat to be subject to this upon your realization of it. That's exactly what happened to me. It is a real threat to your life and your safety and your well-being, and you currently maintain a constitutional and human right to enforce your right to not be subject to it. And I'm going to prosecute. Beast system or not, the Constitution is still present and effective, regardless of the entity that treats it as something that you wipe up fecal matter with. The Constitution is real, regardless of the fact that the government is using it to maintain an illusion of privacy. Well, that illusion is being made a reality, and I'm going to prosecute under the existing Constitution, okay? The entities engaging in the pattern of conduct, and they're doing so with regard to the corruption of every city hall, every police department, every county sheriff's office, every city every territory, every municipality, every neighborhood. This is the government is not permitting anybody to not be engaging in the system. Anyone that is not engaging is being targeted like myself. It is the entire population. And now what I'm capturing is these demons are surrounded with this. I'm going to prosecute indiscriminately. You can't even pay your rent. The government's not going to be paying it for you. I'm going to enforce the rights under the, I'm going to enforce the law and prosecute like any other terrorist while the government is maintaining a system with the terrorists. That's going to prosecute both of them. Both of them at the same time. There are no exceptions here. They are all subservient to that system. And it's a massive RICO case because every business is sharing in surveillance. They will not exist outside of being subservient to that beast system. And the P.O.C., the body of evidence, the pattern of conduct shows that, proves that. And that is a massive means of a prosecution in civil court and the prosecution of businesses for criminal activity. And that is also, again, there is no constitutional right for businesses to continue to remain where I am showing this pattern of conduct. They don't have a constitutional right, and the federal laws will very much work in favor of removing these businesses altogether. But I'm going to drain them into non-existence first. They're going to compensate as an entity that sought to conspire in my murder and make a lot of money in doing so. This is the P.O.C. This is the bottom line is that Jason Isaac Fields will never be permitted around me. This is a terrorist. He tried to murder me through the beast system, and these demons thought that they were going to get away with it. And the joke is on them, except that it's not funny because they're going to prison. They're going to prison. All right, this is P.O.C. It is currently 7:57 a.m. at the under the fake sun that's nowhere in Fontana, California. That's what you're paying attention to. You're looking at the Google Drive. I've given you all the information. You cannot say that you were not warned. You cannot say that you were not informed. I've given an overabundance of information so that you can be sure not only is this the truth, but there is no possible way that it could be anything else because there would have been an anomaly already. There would have been some sort of hiccup. And I don't have time to this is literally my life and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I have overexerted with the provision of a wealth of evidence that you can refer to over the years, and you can see there is no coincidence here. There is no exception here. This is exactly what it is, and they've been doing it for a prolonged period of time, and they try to do it to me. It's not successful because I'm the one that's supposed to be reporting it to you. That's why I'm letting you know what's happening. And if it's happening to me, if you find it entertaining, Lord have mercy on you, because it's a threat to you. It's a threat to you. And I just add what the message is. This is the message is that never mind the fact that, because that's the Lord God. There is no competing with the Lord God. He is on the throne. Okay. The enemy has already been defeated. He rose from the dead. He's alive and well. Okay. But I just want to be clear. Never mind this prosecution. Okay. That's picking nanny stuff. This is nothing to the Lord God. I want to be clear. The entity that's engaging in this, they are engaging in conduct with regard to what are demons. These are psychopaths. They are literally crazy, and they are existing as a population. They're maintaining an illusion that if you're suffering a crime, you call the police and they'll investigate, and then you're going to feel safer. And then once you prove that, you document it, or they find whatever and they investigate, then they're going to give you justice in a court of. This is all an illusion. This is all an illusion. This is not to spread fear. This is information that you need to know. When the criminals are literally in the courtroom, they are that so-called police department. They are the ones that are engaging in psychotic crimes such as stalking. The stalker are the ones wearing the police uniforms. And then when they get caught, you're looking at their bare bones and they can't even hide it anymore. They were trying to conduct themselves as though, even though they're caught, this is at first, they're caught, oh, no, that's not really that. You're just misunderstanding. It's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. And now you're looking at what is unadulterated mental illness. And they're walking around carrying newborn babies, pushing strollers, having their demonic kids that they give birth to, gang stalking outside. These are hellbound demons. They are born to die. And I'm not going to mince words. These are people who are cursed. They know they're going straight to hell. They are engaging in the beast system, and there are those that are held in bondage. Okay. They're held in bondage too. Those are that are born to die. But there are those that are never coming to Christ Jesus. That exists. Those that are never going to be redeemed. They're never going to be saved. And they know that. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know about this surveillance system. They don't want you to know about their demon possession. And they want to convince you that being promiscuous is the way to be. And if you're not, then you're going straight to hell with them if you believe that. They're walking around with burning genitalia, and they want you to be in that same predicament. And hey, I could just take a tablet and live with HIV, and my life is A-okay. It's all good. It doesn't matter. Sin doesn't get to me. There's no consequences. Look at me living the life that I want to. I just want to be clear. This is not to insult anyone, but this is the reality of this world. The wicked, who are under all circumstances wanting to maintain the guise of there are no consequences, hell isn't real, everything is fine, I'm not suffering under judgment, and what the Bible says is not true, and everything is all good. See my smile? See my new breast that I bought? All right, see my transgender surgery results? You see how good I look? You see how happy I am? All right, there is no consequences here. The Bible says that this is going to happen. That's not happening. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm great. I'm rich. They're lying. They're lying to you. It is Satan that wants to maintain an ongoing campaign while they're also then making all sin seem as though it's fine and it's all under the blood of Christ. And they all congregate. They congregate and they call on the name of Jesus. They're not calling on his name. Understand that they are absolutely worshiping Satan. Satan is being coded. They are hiding behind the name of Jesus. They are absolutely devil worshipers. Satan is waiting for a particular time to expose that bare bones reality. And ahead of schedule, Satan has been exposed, and you're going to continuously witness an ongoing progression regarding the wicked that have been here, trying to deceive as many as they can into the kingdom of darkness. You've been seduced into it. You had sex with Jezebel, and now you're addicted to porn. You're addicted to weird, perverted things. You're addicted to having sex with as many people as possible. You're addicted to, and that can come in many forms. You're cheating on your spouse. You can't stop cheating. You've got a perverted mindset. You can't stop thinking about sex or whatnot. You're engaged. You might not want to talk about it out loud, but you're thinking of children in impure, unnatural, perverted manners. Satan loves it. That's exactly where he wants you. And that's a spirit. I just want to be clear. And the entity wants you to indulge in that. They want you to feel comfortable with it. They don't want you to feel, don't feel bad about that. This is the entity that's engaged in that. And at the same time, they're maintaining illusion here on earth. as though they're police officers and they're outside, they're executing justice. And if you do things with kids, you're a bad person. And we're going to make sure that we protect the public from people like you. At the same time, they're engaging in the beast system at the same time. And also at the same time, they're maintaining a sex ritual routinely. They worship Satan, and they get down and dirty with children, with those of the same sex, while extramarital affairs, while they maintain an illusion of having a stable household, the wife and kids. That's how it's supposed to look on the surface. They don't even like women. They're homosexuals. Okay, they're engaged, and this perverted sexual activity is demonic. You've been told by the world that it's just a preference, that it's just a fetish, and it is not. It is literally of the devil. It is a demon. It's a sex demon. It is of that spirit Jezebel. Jezebel manifests in many ways. And I'm just giving you an example because sin is in every area. But this in particular is relevant to the entity that is gang stalking. This beast system is maintained by perverts. They have been overwhelmed with demon possession, and it is Jezebel. Jezebel is violent. Jezebel is psychotic. Jezebel is a spirit, okay? And this is relevant to the devil. This is a Satan, which is a spirit, and demon possession is relevant to that ongoing spirit. But I just want to be clear on this. The entities engaging in this beast system is relevant to a population of people who are not just engaging in surveillance, which is criminal. This is a population of the demon possessed. There is nobody that is not engaging in it. In other words, anyone that is not engaging in it, like myself, is being targeted. There is nobody in the city of Ontario that is not engaging in this beast system. There is nobody in the state of California that is not engaging in the beast system. I just want to make sure it is as clear and exclusive as having the fake sun over me. And you already know that that's not the sun while you're looking at it in the sky space in Minneapolis. Because there's only one. The entity is not engaging in this conduct and permitting other people to not be engaged. Everyone is engaging in it. The entity is exercising what is control over the masses. They are demon possessed. They all have spirits on them. This is how I'm showing you the supernatural pattern of conduct of stalking me with light. They're standing around studying their devices, and I'm showing you, look at the light that's just manifesting out of nowhere. Where is that coming from? What is that? And I've broken it down. That's not the sun, number one. That's not the product of a reflection of the sun, number two. Number three, remember yesterday at the same time, or last month, the same time of year, same time, as I show you how you are paying attention to the environment. If that's the sun, which they're stuck to that. That's why you document it. You're stuck to that. That happened. What is this here? Because the two aren't happening at the same time. This is an illusion where they are stalking and they are demon possessed. Demon possession identified under the fake sun. Demon possession identified amongst the stalking with light. Demon possession identified amongst an entity that is engaging in what is mentally ill behavior in plain view. They want to look like it's traffic. They want to look like pedestrians just walking around. They want to look like they're just walking their dog or playing around with their kids. They're engaging in activity creation. They're mentally ill. They're all demon possessed and they're pacing all around. And those that are going by the names that I am already aware of: Tracy Banks, Eric Spencer, Tommy Allen Banks, Royal Wilcox, Ariana Elena Lopez, or whatever her name is, if she actually got married. These demons whose name I know, every single last one. Carrie Heberlin. They pulled out demons from way back that I haven't even spoken to in years. Lila Van Doren, Stephanie Parker, you have the audacity to engage in this conduct? I hope not, but that's what I'm getting, and you're going to prison, sweetheart. The entity's engaging in this pattern of conduct, and this is the beast system, and this is the entity that tried to kidnap me, and they intended to murder me. It wasn't just enough to have me locked up and with false accusations and on top of people that I haven't even talked to. And since I was a child, you must have been stating, oh, she was mentally ill when she was 6. That's the absurdity of what they had to have been saying. People like Edwin Lamont Grant, well, I haven't seen him since he moved to Minnesota when we were kids. So why would I haven't even spoken to him, but you're pulling out people from way back in the day? If he did that, you're going to prison, and that's exactly what I'm picking up. I'm picking up that you went in and you participated in this campaign. This is the beast system, and you're going to prison, sir. I believe you're married, you're going to prison. I don't even know your wife, if she participated, she's going to prison. I just want to make sure that that's clear. That's what's being established, while in California, they are showing you there are no exceptions. They are gang stalking right now while I'm calling out defendant's name. Ontario police that are acting with those whose name I know. The city of Ontario seeking to engage in what is targeting through a failed campaign of defamation. You are a whole feces consumer stalking me on planes and helicopters. And then you have the audacity to try to bring in people who are all going to prison for defaming my character. You can't prove anything. That's why I wasn't there in court. And by the way, I was maintaining this body of evidence, speaking to the reality of what you were engaging in, a failure in executing the beast system, which I have thereby proven is in existence, while you're pulling out everybody from way back. Any person that I ever had a conversation with is sitting in a courtroom defaming my character, and you had to do it while I was not there, while you're lying about me being dead somewhere, and you're collecting on insurance payments, while you're also on the payroll of Ontario Police Department, of the City of Ontario, sitting in the office of the mayor in Ontario, California. And Ontario, California is merely the pattern of conduct. That's why I'm subject to the pattern of conduct in San Diego, California. It's the P.O.C. You're going to prison. You know who you are, and so does the Lord God. You are engaging in what is out of the pit of hell. This is the beast system. People are going from this realm straight into the pit of hell. This is where they're going. Because many are already lost. That's what's gang stalking. These are demons. There are those that are going to be redeemed, but you're going to have to suffer. Because you didn't want to submit voluntarily. The beast system is going to make it, oh, you want to confess Christ? Well, you're going to lose your life in doing so. All right? But you will be saved. Okay? But this is the end. That's how progressive and violent this system is going to mature to. This is the beast system that's been in existence. And the beast system is relevant to what is surveillance. And those that are engaging in surveillance, they sat very foolishly listening to Tracy Banks, who has a high school diploma, high school education. Hypersexual, having sex with all those people that I know, people that I didn't even have sex with, that I didn't even know were sexually active, acting like we're the same. We are not the same. You've been a whore and hiding that from me. You were never my friend, and that's why you were lying about my character, and my feelings aren't hurt because you're going to prison. And this is a horrible time in history to get locked up, because it's going to become increasingly worse in these United States. Because the government's going to stop acting like you have constitutional rights. They've been maintaining an illusion like you have. They're going to stop doing that. It's coming to an end. All right, so it's going to look like a lot like third world countries, where you get locked up because you look a certain way, because you did something, because you have the audacity to pick up the phone and say something that's being monitored, because you opened up your Bible, because you're praying and they're monitoring you. If you're praying, they're monitoring you. You're going to be targeted and they don't have to give an explanation. That's what's coming. The entities engaged in this conduct, and you defame my character. That was your engagement in conspiring my murder, to steal from me while I'm still being gang stalked. You're going to prison. This is what you've been watching, and you've been watching in awe and in fear, and you should be, because that was tremendous evil that you committed. This is not about me forgiving. This is about justice, and you belong in prison, and that's where you're going. And it is not different with Jason Isaac Fields. I don't care what information you provide to the feds. He will not be coming into my presence. Somebody is under the false idea that because that will not make you friends. You had no business doing that in the first place. You remain a threat, and I remain in control of the trajectory of my life. Satan never has any authority, and you will not now. And you're not going to reverse and flip and try to no, there's no such thing as that. You forfeited an ability to be in my life, and undoing the wicked that you've done, trying to do so, that's fine, but you will not be reconciling with me. You're not going where I'm going. You're not going to be made aware of where I'm going. If you ever show up and I prosecute you, you're a stalker, which shows that you're not repentant in the first place either. When someone says no, you respect that. That's a Jezebel, that's a rapist. That's a spiritual rapist as well, monitoring you. Okay, this is the entity that's engaging in that kind of conduct. This is P.O.C. and the fake sun is over me at 8:12 a.m. Remember where I'm at. I'm capturing the evidence while I'm in Fontana, California. I'm at the Fontana Metrolink train station. I get off at Arco at Merrill and Sierra Avenue. What am I capturing? The city of Fontana and the vagina monitors Vector, stalking with light activity, while they're monitoring my vagina in the bathroom of that Arco. And they're doing so under the fake sun. The fake sun right there. And I capture video of that. I documented a plethora of license plates. And that is, again, where the entity is keeping the fake sun right here at the C Street turn circle, where the fake sun is also setting, where Amazon Prime are delivering packages. Stalking is what delivering packages are. They're stalking. That's what they are. These are the entity that's engaging in, surveillance under the guise of maintaining a business, and it's a corrupt business. It's a business subservient to the beast system, and I'm going to prosecute for it. It's all actionable. There are no secrets here. The demon possessed that are mentally ill and inherently inferior and gain no spiritual authority. The only thing you gain is a body count, and the only thing you gain are STDs. More information that's embarrassing you, because you're not gaining any spiritual authority over me or over the Holy Spirit while you are engaging in what is bondage, sexual sin. You're being made a pervert. You're using your body like a porta potty, and everybody else is using your body like a porta potty. You've been deceived, honey. You've been deceived, all of you. And the joke, you've been bamboozled by the devil himself, who knows what he can and cannot do, and knows to whom he can do and cannot do. You are the one that he's using, and I'm going to prosecute. I'm here to pick up the pieces and prosecute it. No feelings. There are no feelings here. This is not about forgiveness. You're going to prison. The city of Ontario are putting you there. These idiots that are stalking so heavily, they must be wearing diapers because they don't ever take a break. And they're doing so while they lost. You already lost. What are you even stalking for? Because the entity is maintaining an ongoing beast system, and you're going to prison for that. That's the ongoing hard evidence of conspiring murder with the government. You're going to prison for that. That's straight prison time. You are going to prison. All right, the entity's been gang stalking me, engaging in this beast system as a matter of evidence since 2018. I've been documenting it. The beast system has been in existence. The beast system, that is the people of the state, these are murderers. They murder a lot of people. Okay, the Ovid Family Community Library, residents of the city of Ontario, the state of California, they have taken part in murdering people systematically for years. These are, in fact, murderers. I'm not the first person they gang stalk. When you're gang stalking somebody, you are engaging in what is the demise of that person. That's why you're gang stalking them. You're targeting them, and the purpose of targeting that person is to take that person's life, to cause them to drive them to a point of insanity, where you're engaging in what is trying to then kidnap them, setting up circumstances. This is what the people of the state serve. The gang members themselves, they're murderers. While they're wanting to appear, you don't look like a loving parent. You don't look innocent. You don't look like you're not a gang stalker or like you're not a demon. What do you think that looks like? It looks like a person, a vessel who is demon possessed. That spirit is invisible, but that P.O.C. is not. And they're murderers while they're gang stalking at the Upland Public Library. They're murderers while they're gang stalking at the Ovid Family Community Library. I am not the first person they targeted. I'm the first one that's prosecuting them for it. They are a perverted people. They are a violent people. They are a mentally ill people. They are a corrupt, lawless people. This is P.O.C. And legally, it has substantial significance because the people of the state has a legal relevance under the Constitution. The people of the state are no longer in that position. They are terrorists in the U.S. They are targeting with the government. They have forfeited their position as protected private individuals under that document. They forfeited it. That has inevitable legal ramifications, and I'm prosecuting for it. You're a fool. You think you're on private property at your house and that you can't, you're a fool. I'm going to prosecute you, and I'm going to embarrass you for it. License plate. Stalking with the government under the fake sun that's over me in Fontana, California. This is an Asian male. Impossible light along the driver's side, targeting. License 9 Bob Jerry Victor 827. This is P.O.C. The Ontario Ovid Family Community Library has the fake sun setting here at the same entrance, where they are stalking in the afternoon, just like this Asian male. Vagina monitors, murderers. This is another murderer, 47622 Zebra 3. These are all demon-possessed people. They are not in the city of Ontario, not engaging in the pattern of conduct. The government doesn't permit that. That's why they're targeting me. I'm not engaging in it. And if you think that you have authority, everybody is learning, no, you do not. You don't have authority. You don't even have authority over your own genitalia. Satan runs you. Learn your role. Pay attention to yourself and mind your business, because you don't control me over here. The only one that controls me is the Lord God. And I am the only one with the authority. Everybody else is under this spell. They're all subservient to it. And they're puppets. This is P.O.C. I just want to make sure that that's clear. I wanted to make sure that I expound upon that, because nobody that I've documented, Jason Isaac Fields is not different from Tracy Banks. The entity that's in you married it, you set up and had sex with it for years. You set up and chose it. You targeted me with that. You preferred that, and my feelings are not hurt. I know that you're a demon. That's why you make the decisions that you do. But I don't care about that. You're sticking with that decision. You're staying away from me, and it will be a federal offense if you violate my rights. And I put it publicly because I am not playing and I'm not reneging on that. There is no future. You forfeited that. If I don't stop listening to these demons that are giving tarot card readings, it's not happening. That is Satan's plan. And nobody over here is rolling with Satan. I don't play those games. I will prosecute you. I will prosecute you and not hesitate. This is P.O.C. It is currently 8:18 a.m. The entity is Ontario City Hall, the library. This is not flying over that anymore. Right here. Stalking. Staying on the south is Alaska Airlines. That is gang stalking and furtherance of murder. Doing fake sun is remaining in alignment with me over the Andy's Burgers. Over the years, I've already documented the fake sun remaining over here at the Andy's Burgers. The entity's doing the same thing while I'm in Fontana right now. And that is Alaska Airlines that is specifically targeting. And Alaska Airlines is doing so in furtherance of murder, not engaging in legitimate business practices, and they're targeting with the people of the state. License 9NW 6848 Frank Apple Mary 709 and 1084 Paul David. They're targeting together. That's 10-8 emergency vehicles, which they are engaging for criminal activity. This is the P.O.C. And that's the entity that is Comet Electric that knows that it's being documented. They were targeting in the parking lot at Campus and Hope Boulevard. That was during the 7 a.m. hour. It's 8:31 a.m. I'm in Fontana right now. Yesterday, they are gang stalking with the people of the state. And this is also documented acts of retaliation upon conspiring my murder as a company and the demons that they hire. The Comet Electric also engaged in funding and facilitating terrorism, any immigrants employed by this company. I'm going to prosecute for that as well. This is P.O.C. This is the entity engaging in psychopathic pacing, like at the Stater Brothers, like at Campus and Hull, like at the Ovid Family Community Library. Now they're doing cartwheels over the skating rink. Fake sun is over me, where I've also the fake sun setting right here over this Andy's Burgers at the same parking lot. That's the City of Ontario, the beast system fully exposed, the surveillance. They're stalking everywhere, maintaining presence everywhere. Demons that are studying their devices, the devices that are also demonic, while they're engaging in this chronic stalking on the roads and the highways. Crossing path, crossing path, crossing path. These demons have no business in the medical field. They have no business in law enforcement. This is how they commit murder. This is the beast system that's underway through those demons that are strategically placed in those fields. That's what tried to kill me and criminally defame me. And every last one of them, San Bernardino County, do you hear me? You're going to prison. Every single last one of you, P.O.C. It is currently 8:32 a.m. Fake sun. It is currently 8:35 a.m. It is 24 hours since I have been maintaining the pattern of conduct as a matter of evidence. This is Holt Boulevard and Malcolm, where I've been up and down the street documenting the people of the state. The Ontario International Airport stalking me as I took pictures and video of that. The people of the state targeting where they live, and the evidence that they are targeting where they live is the fact that I'm in Fontana, California at Spring Street and Sierra Avenue right now at the exact same time. And to be under what is not over Spring Street and Sierra in Fontana, California under the fake sun is the identification of a gang stalker. License 8 David Charlie Henry 770 and every other business, including the person operating this bus and everybody on it. The fake sun is remaining for the duration of the route, as I've already shown the pattern of conduct. As the bus turns, so does the fake sun, even though I completed this route at an earlier hour yesterday. I'm already in Fontana looking at this Fontana Lewis Library that maintained a fake sun and impossible light activity inside of that library, while the San Bernardino County, the city of Fontana, is engaged in criminal surveillance and maintenance of the beast system. That which is over me in Fontana on Spring Street, while the people of the state are stalking, because that's what this is. This is stalking while I'm showing you the light source, which is not the natural environment, the sun. This is the identification of the gang stalkers, those that are sharing in the conspiracy to murder the one person that is being targeted amongst that population and that government that is stalking, like Alaska Airlines is stalking along Hope Boulevard. All this, there's no airport when they're acting like they're rising. This is the end. There's no airport. They have to go all the way down. The entity is stalking. Alaska Airlines is stalking, and this is the 8:35 a.m. fake sun that's simultaneously in this position while I'm in Fontana, California, where I remain at the Fontana Lewis Library into the evening, and my documentation shows that that fake sun remains at that venue. That's the pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C. And as I show you the city's targeting, 9KIH 770 at what is 210 Campus Avenue, is executed for gang stalking, and I don't have to meet them. You don't have to when you're looking at the pattern of conduct by the government. All right, that's how you're prosecuted in that environment where surveillance by the masses is underway, and this is the beast system. Everybody engaged in the beast system and its failed execution is going to now witness and experience a federal prosecution of epic proportions. This is P.O.C. You're going to prison for defaming my character, because that criminal defamation is serving what is my loss of life, loss of my money and property, loss of my identity and my liberty. You're going to prison for that. You're doing so by aiding the government in doing that. The government cannot do it without the people of the state. People like Jason Fields, Eric Spencer, Tracy Banks, etc. The entity is engaged in what is the pattern of conduct. Aquanetta Warren and Paul Leon are hereby exposed while the pattern of conduct is underway. Don't forget about what I'm documenting on April 4th, 2026, when I'm in Pomona, California, which is not this. It's not this. It's also not Spring Street and Sierra and Fontana. This is the entity that is gang stalking. That's county to county analysis. San Bernardino County and LA County. Pomona, Fontana, and Ontario. I am at what is the intersection of, at 8 a.m. This is the intersection of Allen and Nocta. Okay, anywhere in the city of Fontana. This is the P.O.C. I'm being targeted on the bus, which is a threat to my life. And this is ongoing evidence documenting that. This is P.O.C. P.O.C. Identity engaging in criminal summoning. And that's Ontario Fire. And she's not displaying her employee number. This is the entity engaging in the gang violence and trying to obstruct justice, especially while they engage in gang violence and target while they're being documented. This is a female driver. The entire bus line and the employees are going to be federally prosecuted. This is deliberate while you're gang stalking under the fake sun. This is Inland Empire, and this is 8:58 a.m. The entity's keeping the fake sun over me at 9 o'clock in the morning while I am in Pomona, California. The entity's keeping the fake sun over me while I'm in Ontario, California, and Upland Police are gang stalking at 537 North Euclid Avenue. This is before daylight savings time, but understand daylight savings time is an illusion regarding what is the fake sun in the first place. I abide by those rules so that you can understand and see the reality of that illusion. But the entity is maintaining this fake sun, and she's engaged in criminal summoning, stalking while I'm on the bus, while the fake sun's remaining for the duration, and also concealing her identity. This is what the entity routinely, customarily display, which is the employee numbers. They're doing so while you're engaging in the criminal conspiracy to commit murder, while gang stalking with the patrons that are on the bus. The patrons are demons as well. This is the fake sun at Inland Empire and Haven. This is P.O.C. They're not 7RSF831, 9LXX209, 8UPX120. Criminal conspiracy to commit murder as an entity stalking on the roads and the highways with the City of Ontario Fire Department. That's engaging what is lights and sirens while they are stalking in the path. Everybody that I'm documenting by license plates are being prosecuted at the same time, but this is the entity, the City of Ontario, that's gang stalking. And remember, I'm in Fontana at this time yesterday. I'm on the side of the Fontana Lewis Library. And that's how I'm able to get the fake sun over me while the entity is pacing along the side of that library. And I get video at 9:35 a.m. Recall that documentation? And then you're going to look at this. Because this is where the entity is engaged in the P.O.C. All right, this is bus 1270. You're going to prison while you're seeking to conceal your identity, and you're gang stalking an American citizen in furtherance of murder. This is P.O.C. It's an immediate escalation of federal charges. It is currently 9 a.m. This is gang violence. Been UPS coming in to participate. That's how hostile UPS is with regard to committing murders and me exposing them. While they're gang stalking me, it's prosecuting them for murder they committed in Kentucky under a fake sunset. They're pattern of conduct while paying attention to the environment here. That's impossible light activity. Yeah, it's impossible light activity they're watching. This is impossible light activity. Right. There's my shadow apparent projected. This is a sexual assault and battery while they're pacing, psychopathic pacing, going into the bathroom to engage in surveillance, making sure they cover all the angles, and that's where the concentrate, that's supposed to be sunlight there. They're pacing. This is covering the bases. These are demons. These are bots. All right? The entity is engaging. This is McDonald's, which has a documented pattern. Okay, I've got the McDonald's in Ontario on Mountain Avenue. Documented the McDonald's in Upland on Foothill. The pattern of conduct with regard to the corporation itself that is sharing in surveillance. And they're making purchases while they're gang stalking. That's a federal RICO case, and this is the conspiracy to commit murder. These sex offenders go into the bathroom maintaining surveillance. This is pacing for stalking conduct, not relieving themselves. That's the pattern of conduct. All right, and they're engaging in this conduct while they're sitting around stalking. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, and Mike LORENZ is going to prison. This is the gang violence, the surveillance underway in Ontario. Vagina monitors engaging in surveillance on communication devices and engineered light. And they're mentally ill. All they're doing is pacing all around you under fake sun. Alright, state surveillance is proven in that supernatural environment while I'm in Pomona, California at the same time. I'm in Fontana yesterday. This is why I went through and documented the whole parking lot. They're all stalking. They're going in the bathroom. That's where the mentally ill maintain surveillance. This is P.O.C. coming and making your purchases, prosecuting them and McDonald's. that's engaged in the pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C. It's 9:30 a.m. This is a federal prosecution of the U.S. government. McDonald's is engaged in surveillance. They sell you unhealthy food while making money, but the purpose is surveillance. It's P.O.C. Okay, so you're analyzing not just the fake son object, but also the crime and the way it's executed. That's with minor children. That's what you're looking at there. That's the government, and that's the people of the state. Ways to prosecute abusing while you're gang stalking with minor children. The fake son's over me in Fontana, California right now at Spring Street and Sierra Avenue. So that's speaking to impossible light activity. Speaking to the illusion that the sun would be here and that it would remain here, like I'm documenting at Fontana Lewis, like I'm documenting in Ontario, California, at the Ontario Village Shopping Center, where at 9:35 a.m. the Ontario Police Department, who are gang stalking me and further into murder and kidnapping me via the people of the state that are maintaining this beast system surveillance. And they're all demon possessed, is what you need to know. The entity is engaged in maintaining the fake sun over me while the entity is flying over me by commercial planes in Pomona, California at 9:35 a.m. The entity is keeping the fake sun, as I documented yesterday, in Fontana, California at Spring Street and Sierra, 9:35 a.m. The entity is maintaining the fake sun in the city of Ontario, where they're maintaining this over the Ontario Village Shopping Center, where I'm standing in front of the Emile Gabriel dentist office / King's Ink Tattoo inside of the Ontario Village Shopping Center, anchored by Stater Brothers. The fake sun is over me and the Ontario Police. As I'm walking through that parking lot, as I'm walking through that venue, the fake sun is over me, and the people of the state are pacing like they are now. They're pacing. It's made relevant to where I'm located. So they're walking in and out of the store, pacing in the engineer light. They're walking in and out of the bathrooms, maintaining ongoing surveillance. These are literally demons that are engaged in nothing other than they're marching all around. They're pacing, actually, and they're mentally ill. The entity is pacing out of the nearest door, gang stalking, under a fake sun. That's light activity, relevant positioning, and they're intentionally doing so. These are demons that are specifically targeting someone that they know who they are targeting. This is not anonymity. They're not strangers. The government is targeting through a population. All right, this is P.O.C. It's an unspoken system, so they engage in that while they don't address you, and they are engaging in the unmistakable pattern of conduct. And so while they harass you, while they defame you, while they engage in any manner of that audible activity, like I've documented, they're going to prison. This is not going to be over Fontana. This is conclusive evidence. And the ways in which they're targeting you as though they are strangers is psychopathic. All right, 8YXV658. That is the evidence for you also that they're mentally ill. This is a malicious pattern of conduct by a demon-possessed population. Okay, that's what's behind UPS coming in to engage in vagina monitoring, and that's what the white male documented on the Google Drive. UPS representing that company coming in to engage in targeting me, aware of my evidence exposing the terrorist that is UPS. And that UPS isn't by themselves. They're engaged in the pattern of conduct together, but UPS went out of its way, and I'm going to go out of my way to prosecute for that. This is P.O.C. It's currently 9:38 a.m. under the fake sun that moves as I move into the parking lot. All right, this is the entity that's engaged in what is a pattern of conduct, as I'm showing you from city to city. This is the prosecution of the state of California that's engaged in the U.S. government's P.O.C. license, Robert Xavier 980, monitoring. This is here for the purpose of gang stalking. All right, this is impossible light activity. My shadow's on that wall over there, impossible light activity. They're monitoring. P.O.C. They're all bots. This is a federal RICO case.
There you go.
Alrighty, this is psychopathic pacing with the Ontario Police. This is P.O.C. Maintaining the fake sun over the square, for example, and stalking in the path. That agency is being disbanded. They are the reason why they're monitoring my vagina inside of McDonald's. And Mike LORENZ is going to prison, and every kidnapper and every stalker are indeed going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. It's impossible this would be the sun. It is peculiar with regard to my position at this time of day while you're looking at psychopathic pacing. All right, and they're intentionally Route 61. Omnitrans can have a chip on their shoulder all they want. I'm going to prosecute this business. It's not going to exist when I license 1404991. And guess what? The fake sun moves when I'm aboard that bus. That's a pattern of conduct. Riders gang stalking. P.O.C. It's currently 9:46 a.m.
Stop requested.
That's light activity.
Please use reader books.
Monitoring also
by the bus that I'm on, monitoring evidence through the presence of the fake sun that's over the Fontana Lewis Library at the same time that it is over me at the Ontario Mills. This is where I'm at with the fake sun just traveling across the whole venue while I'm in motion, and you're comparing my video evidence of the fake sun being stationary over the Fontana Lewis Library in Fontana, California. And while I'm traveling and remaining at the Ovid Family Community Library at 10 o'clock in the morning, the customary placement of that fake sun over the entrance where C. Gerber is gang stalking. In doing so, again, this is daylight savings time is the 8th of March. And daylight savings time I do document and refer to with regard to this scientifically relevant evidence. And the reason why I abide by those rules is because it's the maintenance of that illusion. Okay, daylight savings time is giving and taking away an hour, but you're seeing as how that does not apply when the entity is literally stalking under a fake sun. All right, the entity is maintaining inside and outside of daylight savings time the stationary presence of a fake sun over all of these venues that I'm documenting where they're gang stalking. The fake sun is over me at the Ontario Mills. I'm at what is Gurney. This is Gurney, turning onto what is 4th Street. Omnitrans Route 61, whereas yesterday I'm already in the city of Fontana. This is the entity that's maintaining this fake sun at 10 o'clock while I'm, again, already at the Fontana Lewis Library prior to this, documenting the fake sun over that Lewis Library. The same Lewis Library where I'm showing you the fake sun is still over me yesterday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, as I show you the same intersection of Spring Street and Sierra. This is the maintenance and showing you the illusion that I do point out to you while I conform to these rules that we are given regarding daylight savings time in this supernatural environment, this demonic imitation, which is where the beast system is identified. Okay, this is the fake sun that's moving at the speed of the bus. It's on the side of the bus that I'm seated on. It's going in the direction that the bus is driving in, and the entity's engaged in maintaining this simultaneously while I'm in various cities at the same time. All right, and this is not forgetting about don't get lost in the trees, because what the LAPD is doing, what the city of Los Angeles is doing. Alrighty, it is currently, I just want you to see, this is the fake sun while I'm on the Spring Street side. This is the fake sun that is over me at the entrance. You see the vagina monitors that are engaging in criminal surveillance of genitalia with the government in the bathrooms by acting as janitors at the facilitating venue of San Bernardino County, and that fake sun is over me where it's over also. The illusion is that it's here still at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is what I documented on video yesterday, at the same intersection, Spring Street in Sierra, where it was not this morning at 8:35 a.m. where I was here yesterday, however, and the entity's keeping that fake sun over the Ovid Family Community Library in Ontario, where the fake sun rose. Okay, yesterday it rose at Campus and Hope Boulevard, and then while I'm in Upland, California, I'm showing you how the fake sun is rising at the Upland Public Library in the Upland City Hall. This is the entity that's engaging in that, and this fake sun is directly over me at this, even while it's reflecting off of the window. And this is that fake sun that is indeed the object itself while it's moving over. This is a vast building, so it is moving as I move. And the entity that sounds sirens is engaging in surveillance. The entity that is stalking in the sky space, that is what it is by definition, while the fake sun is remaining. That is including the entity that's doing so through the commercial airlines in concert with every city that are engaging in that means of stalking in the sky space. No warrant, no probable cause. Stalking using emergency vehicles, no warrant or probable cause. It's also inhumane and mentally ill for the government to practice this. This is the beast system. The beast system is identified through what is the supernatural, which I've proven through tangible evidence of what is stalking under this, which is not in Ontario, it's not in Upland, all right, it's not in Pomona, it's not at the entrance of the Ovid Family Community Library, okay, it's not going to sit over one location, it'd still be here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not the natural environment. It's also not over you in whatever state that you're in this country. And as you're witnessing the U.S. being exposed for maintaining the beast system, this is what Satan is doing amongst the government. It is criminal surveillance, and it's in furtherance of systematically murdering, kidnapping American citizens. And this entity tried it on me, and I'm prosecuting for it. And as I prosecute for it, it's exposing what Satan has been doing for decades. It's no longer a secret. So everyone is being informed that Satan's system is already in operation, and the mentally ill that are the demon-possessed are engaging in it. They will not speak of it. It's okay though. They don't have to speak anything. I've shown you what they're doing. They don't have to say anything. And anything that they do say, it will be used against them. This is P.O.C. This is Sierra and Spring upon my entrance, where the entity is gang stalking through everybody in this building, and they're maintaining vagina monitoring, which is putting Sean Thrasher, the Open Family Community Library workforce, those are state actors, they're going to prison. This is P.O.C.
What you're about to witness is the ongoing admission by the U.S. government that is engaged in what is the imploded, the full-blown exposure, and the devastating destruction of any secret beast system in order to execute American citizens unbeknownst to them in an unexpected manner, where the government is ambushing American citizens and stalking them, literally hunting them down like animals, and they have no indication. You're going to listen to right now the entity admittedly engaging in that criminal system. It is the beast system, and this admission is communicated expressly and impliedly by the entity aiding in what is fully engaged in the conspiracy to murder me and theft of my wealth, my money, my property, engaging in sex trafficking, engaging in what is attempted murder, engaging in what is the entity that's engaged in all of the crimes, in other words, are incorporated in regarding what the submission that I have documented, and it is by the U.S. government via the city of Fontana. This is P.O.C. This is P.O.C. All right, this is the removal of Daniel MUNSEY. This is gang stalking with the Fontana Police Department. And the fake son is here on video at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's over me. And they chose to do this with minor children as well. The Fontana Police Department is gang stalking with Amazon Prime. That's flying over my head as I documented at 9:35 in the morning. AGS is gang stalking, just like I showed. You're looking at the pattern with Securitas, Open Family Community Library, City of Ontario. AGS, Fontana Lewis Library, City of Fontana. Doing so, they are monitoring my vagina while I'm in the bathroom, and the people that state sex offenders using their devices in there and engineer light. That's the Fontana Police that are violent sex offenders. This is the entity that's engaging in this, and this fake son will not be here over the library like I captured yesterday at 2:08 p.m. It's going to leave with me where the entity is stalking by helicopter. This is in furtherance of murder. This is what Mike LORENZ is practicing. This is the entity that's engaging in that, and that's the beast system. His name is Daniel MUNSEY. He is no police chief. He's not remaining in that position. And the entity that's engaged in criminal summoning with Stephanie this demon's going to prison. I've been stating that for years. That's exactly where she's going. And the demon that arrived on what is in April of 2022 to this criminal conduct while you're engaged in criminal summoning, this is the entity that is indeed going to prison. Okay? The entity, Escarpi, the demon of Fontana Police, engaging in what is gang stalking me with criminal summoning at this Fontana Lewis Library at 11 o'clock in the morning. He's on video. He's going to federal prison while the entity is gang stalking, and this is psychopathic pacing. Okay, and this is an ongoing documented escalation. Stalking me by Amazon Prime Air is an ongoing escalation, and this is the removal of Aquanetta Warren, P.O.C. She's not remaining in office. She is an ongoing domestic terrorist, and I want to be the Fontana City. This is it right here, the Fontana Civic Center. Alrighty, and this is the entity that is indeed engaged in the beast system. This is why they're unfazed. They engage in gang stalking together. They're psychopaths. They're engaged in the pattern of conduct. They're monitoring with children. They also engage in sexual violence with children, and they are the demon possessed that are under the fake sun. This is in 1:15 p.m. and the fake sun is remaining, as I showed you, at the back of the library today, as at my arrival. Over Spring Street, the same Spring Street where it's over me at 9:35, that's a demon. Moreover, that's a domestic terrorist. And so these. Stalking with the City of Ontario, pay attention, that's Amazon Prime that's being federally prosecuted. The entities engaged in that P.O.C. Surveillance of the evidence which has proven the existence of the beast system, proven the terrorists that are homegrown. This is P.O.C. The demons of the Fontana Police Department are going to be treated the identical way. You have the entity that is gang stalking, as I've documented them, engaging in the pattern of conduct under the fake sun in the evening. They're going to prison. I got their names. I have their license plates. They are going to federal prison. And this is exactly what they're doing, by the way, at the same venue at 5 o'clock in the evening, which is on the record regarding that pattern of conduct. And this is the people of the state. This is the people of the state that are actually gang stalking, okay? Remember the San Bernardino County Probation Department gang stalking? Remember the entity, you have Jay Escarpi that's gang stalking, and that's the gang stalker that's engaging in what is criminal defamation, the African-American on video the day the entity covered up the fake sun. They know that they're going to prison. That's why they're pacing around right now, and they are. They're going to federal prison. This is P.O.C. And it doesn't help with regard to prison sentencing, because this is exactly what's going to be analyzed with regard to what is an automatic prison sentence and then the ongoing criminal activity when they engage in what is surveillance of that evidence, anticipating that. This is, again, Mike LORENZ, and you have the entity that's gang stalking in Fontana. He's going to prison. The entity engages in kidnapping. This is P.O.C. All right, this is relevant to what Amazon Prime is doing, having no business whatsoever. There's no airport. This is the entity that's targeting, and they're targeting my vagina. Police department are gang stalkers. They're engaged in surveillance, not law enforcement. And so is AGS. This is P.O.C. I want you to see this logo. I'm going to federally prosecute them. Engaging in ongoing surveillance, stalking under the fake sun and the engineer light. And they are going to be subject to federal prison, which is what this is with the police. This is not security. This is stalking. And this is a federal RICO case. That's the pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C. That's the entity that's gang stalking with the Fontana Police Department that's flying in circles right now. That's domestic terrorism, P.O.C. And I'm going to prosecute the business as well. All right, this is exactly what Securitas is engaging in. And these are the demons that are hot. This is supposed to be hostility. This is supposed to be hostility right here. That hostility is going to be used with regard to damages and time in prison. This is P.O.C. This is, again, a lost cause. That's the pattern of conduct. It is currently, by the way, you see the Fontana? This is the city of Fontana right here, stalking, and they're doing so with, this is P.O.C. That's not security, that's stalking. That's federal stalking under Title 18. All right, the fake sun moves as I move. That's the city of Fontana. Again, like I said, demons cannot act. They can't act at all. The entities engaged in this, and all the license plates that I'm documenting, all the sex offenders, Stephanie Ortiz that's engaging in criminal summoning, that's a malicious act with the intent to threaten kidnapping while they're monitoring. And these are all angry, hostile vagina monitors, sex offenders, 9TMV345, 8GGZ488, engaging in the same thing in the evening. The San Bernardino County Fire Department, gang stalkers, they're engaging in surveillance. The entity has the fake sun over me while I'm arriving in the morning. All right, that's the P.O.C. And this is the city of Fontana that is engaging in the pattern of conduct with the population. And you need to understand that terrorist leaders like Aquanetta Warren are being removed. Whatever her name is, Top Ramanisha Aquanetta, whatever her name is, she's no mayor. And neither is Paul Leon. Neither is Karen Bass. Okay, this is the entity that's engaging. That this fake sun is moving around the building as I'm documenting, and I have been documenting the city of Fontana that has no choice but to admit that there are a bunch of vagina monitoring demons, and this is the beast system, which has imploded. They were supposed to be secretly, covertly targeting someone and making that person look crazy. You are looking at the unadulterated mental illness of a population that engages in terrorism when they lose. This is Satan. That is conceding defeat. And that's equaling time in federal prison. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, that's the psychopathic pacing. Pay attention to the identical pattern of conduct by the Ontario Police Department. This is the entity that's admitting to that pattern of conduct. This is the entity that's engaging in the sex offense, the perpetual sex offense, and this is in a violation of human rights and your constitutional rights, in doing so with a population. Through the age of majority, you see those little kids in front of the bathroom that I documented yesterday. That's the handiwork of Daniel MUNSEY. He's being federally prosecuted. He's a violent sex offender engaging in terrorism. All these companies, Allison Mechanical Incorporated, the city of Fontana, Metrolink. This is the entity that's gang stalking while the entity is maintaining this. And I've been documenting multiple police departments throughout San Bernardino and Los Angeles County. You have the entity gang stalking me on what is Arrow and Sierra, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, gang stalking at this intersection. They're going to prison. They are going to federal prison. That's the P.O.C. You're not engaged in law enforcement, nor do you have any authority when you're engaging in federal stalking on the venue of the internet. Okay, that's the pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C. and you're looking at Amazon Prime engaging in the pattern of conduct with, again, another corrupt law enforcement agency that is exposing itself because they're frustrated demons. But what you are looking at is the fact of the beast system, and this is the entity that attempted murder. And Daniel MUNSEY, the entity or the specific name of the demon that is not a police chief, he's a terrorist leader, he's losing his position, and I'm going to federally prosecute the city of Fontana. The mayor is being removed from position. The people of the state are going to federal prison. It's sitting on the record, all of the offenses, and the law is going to be applied accordingly. This is P.O.C. The city of Fontana is engaged in what is an unlawful threat. This is going on the record. Everyone that's in that library is stalking where I'm located, stalking as demons with the possible light, stalking with knowledge of the documentation that's on the record, stalking while they're hostile because they are known and their demon possession is discerned, and it's a matter of public information. And this is the federal RICO case. This is P.O.C. This is what they're doing in Ontario with the Ontario Department. All right, it doesn't get any more clear than this, okay? I just want you to be clear with regard to who is being removed from office and who is responsible. You pay attention to this fake sun moving as I move. because that is this. License 8RQD625, stalking in the path, doing so with children. And I want you to see their names. Miss Top Ramanisha, all right? Miss Bonquisha, oh, it's Aquanetta. That's her name, Aquanetta Warren. She's being removed. She's a terrorist, all right? She's from homegrown gang stalking town of Compton, where she's engaged in terrorism, accustomed to terrorism, and the entities engaging in this pattern of conduct in the city of Fontana that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, where the beast system is thriving. The system is no longer secretly underway. This is P.O.C. That's P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, 1:22 p.m. This is P.O.C. and my documentation where I am arriving at the Fontana Metrolink train station at the same, this is Orange Way and Sierra Avenue. And as my documentation shows, I'm arriving in the morning hours and I am aboard the same route going in the opposite direction, and this is the evidence, just like the entity, the Fontana Police Department, stalking by helicopter under that fake sun over the Fontana Lewis Library, flying in circles over me, targeting me, while that fake sun then remains over me as I walk away, venture from the Fontana Lewis Library, where the evidence shows it remains stationary. That's how I'm able to get it after 2 o'clock, 2:08 p.m. yesterday, and into the evening, as I've been documenting impossible light inside of that Fontana Lewis Library, where a bunch of psychopaths are monitoring, okay, with colorful light inside of that library. Nonetheless, you're going to pay attention to the fake sun going in the opposite direction, turning on the same street, going on the same route, back toward the original destination, toward Ontario, and this is the same conduct in the morning. This is where the Fontana Police Department are gang stalking with the city of Fontana at the Fontana Metrolink train station. This is implicating Metrolink, this is implicating Omnitrans, this is implicating the people of the state. But the entities engaged in that, while you see impossible light drag across the ground, license 1536835 is a demon that is operating a vehicle that's representing a company that is also associated with the state. And that's the prosecution of the entity, the evidence of that fake sun. This is the beast system that is incorporated into the capitalistic endeavors of the U.S. government that's maintaining that surveillance system, meaning the government is keeping you under surveillance, targeting you further into murder and kidnapping, and they're also profiting from it. They create businesses in order to engage in surveillance, okay, and providing you means of goods and services in doing so. But they're all engaging in surveillance, thus they are all gang stalking, and this is impossible. And I'm documenting the impossible because I'm prosecuting. Again, the terrorist leader over the Fontana Police Department. This is the entity that's going to be federally prosecuted. Recall what I'm documenting at Merrill and Sierra Avenue. Like I said, the documentation is, there's a wealth of it, and the entity has the fake sun over me while I'm arriving. I'm already in Fontana at 8 o'clock in the morning, and this is surveillance, not traffic. Like I stated, evidence of the fake sun, not only is it over me at the same location, but it's over me on the side of the bus that I'm on. It's turning as the bus turns, going in the same speed limit. It is physically moving. It could not be stationary over the library. It certainly isn't in Ontario over the Ovid Family Community Library. This is the P.O.C. where you're looking at the terrorist leaders themselves that commit kidnappings and murders, those that are not engaged in law enforcement, which have championed the defeat of the people of the state, domestic terrorists, homegrown terrorists that you need to know are residing, and they're being prosecuted. This is P.O.C. It is currently 1:55 p.m. Omnitrans is engaging in an unlawful threat, targeting with the Fontana Police Department, and I'm getting on the bus like nothing just happened. Absolutely not. They're being federally prosecuted, and the entities engaging in that with regard to a ceaseless pattern of conduct. This is prefacing the unlawful threat that Omnitrans poses. This is employee number 441. They cut off the rest of that. That's the entity that's engaged in the P.O.C. The entity will be producing their information. I maintain a body of evidence. The entity is going to produce it in court. There will be no secrets. There's not going to be any anonymity, and they will be federally prosecuted. This is Sierra Avenue and Randall, going in the direction that the bus is going at what is 1:55 p.m. This is indeed the conclusive P.O.C. Alrighty, it is 2:02 p.m. Take a good look. 9720. And this is license plate 6, Sam Wendy Xavier 049. And Mary Bob Nancy 875. That's an out-of-state license plate. It's an identification of the people of the state that are engaged in surveillance, and I routinely use this as a landmark regarding the fake sun coming from San Bernardino Avenue, like I documented coming from Pomona, like I documented when I am on Omnitrans
yesterday morning, arriving during the 8 a.m. hour, just before the 8 a.m. hour, and the entity is keeping the fake sun turning in the direction that the bus is turning, remaining over my window in the same manner, going in the opposite direction. This is indeed 9720 at San Bernardino. And what is Jennifer? Alrighty, and the entity is engaging in conduct, and this is again punctuating what the Fontana Police Department are engaging with the people of the state, while also acting with the intent to psychologically torture, threaten, and harass in furtherance of murder as they maintain what is federal stalking, criminal surveillance of all the evidence. And this is inherent to the unlawful threat posed by a government and a population that are keeping their criminal activity under surveillance while you document them, and then they engage in what is an ongoing program of torture and stalking while they are hostile to that. That's what's relevant regarding what the Fontana Police Department are doing, as I am subject to this pattern of conduct. And the fake sun is turning along the same street on the same route, going in the opposite direction, which is absolutely impossible, and it is conclusive evidence of a specific person being targeted. All right, the person that has the presence of mind to document it. The person getting all the gang stalking means in the state of California. The person that is under no circumstances remedial or deficient or intellectually inferior by any means. To the contrary, the demons that you see pacing all around under a fake sun engage in what is sexually violent surveillance, stalking in planes and helicopters, in fact spending millions of dollars on stalking one person that already defeated you when it was documented, which is all you need to rebut evidence of an entity that is obsessed with you and trying to defame your character because they think in the shoes of the government they can get away with it. That's the entity that's mentally ill. That's the entity that's intellectually impotent. That's the entity that's going to be placed in mental institutions and in prison. And it includes those of the Fontana Police Department who are exhibiting the same mental illness and engaging in the same criminal pattern of conduct after having stolen my money, targeting me as an American citizen, violating my human rights and constitutional rights, and doing so because not only because of who I am, but because I'm documenting it, because I'm enforcing my rights, which is a specific type of terrorist in the United States. This is P.O.C. It is currently 2:05 p.m. The entity has the fake sun at the same time remaining stationary over Spring Street and Sierra in Fontana, California, which is what I documented on video. All right, the two are not happening at the same time, and all of this is exposing the Los Angeles Police Department, the Ontario Police Department, the Upland Police Department. This is the P.O.C. And this is where you're looking at puppets that engage in criminal summoning like Hernandez on Hope Boulevard, engaging in the pattern of conduct. What the people say, he's going to prison. So is Jay Escarpi of the Fontana Police Department. There's no statute of limitations. This is the pattern of conduct unity. And you're looking at how diabolical and how wicked, and that is how law that population is. This is P.O.C. and this is the beast system. It is currently 2:06 p.m. McDonald's where the fake sun was over me at 9:35 a.m. And you'll see in the image the Ontario police that are stalking while the fake sun is over me on the same Route 61. I am on for the third time going back toward Fontana and the fake sun, just like I'm documenting at 9720 Sierra Avenue, where the entity is keeping the fake, 9720 Jennifer. This is the entity keeping that fake sun. This is the Ontario Mills over that same McDonald's. And the entity that is being exposed by that documentation is gang stalking in a police vehicle. That's the same agency that is being disbanded. And every last stalker and kidnapper are going to prison. They share in the pattern of conduct with the Fontana police, who you see gang stalking on video at the Fontana Lewis Library. The fake sun is remaining over the same bus, and it's vacillating from side to side, while everybody on the bus is gang stalking with the Ontario Police Department, which is also why they are being disbanded. This is P.O.C. In the same manner, this entity is engaging in criminal summoning. Criminal summoning is the basis for putting the people of the state in federal prison. It's currently 4:08 p.m. while this fake sun in Ontario Mills that it was this morning that I documented. UPS gang stalking. Amazon Prime, you'll see in the images, they're gang stalking. These are the people of the state that are engaging in that while they're maintaining this environment and maintaining that environment while they are keeping the evidence against itself under surveillance, which is going to put demons that are terrorist leaders like the terrorist leader over the Fontana Police, the terrorist leader over the Ontario Police in prison. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. Terrorists belong in prison, and that's what the Fontana Police Department have been engaged in for years. I was waiting for you to witness that in 2026. The entity has not ceased to engage in targeting, and it is a basis for prison. This is P.O.C. This is indeed the pattern of conduct. It's 4:08 p.m. All right, you'll see Fontana police gang stalking at Merrill and Sierra. And you'll also see my still images of the entity stalking by commercial plane. They're making a turn in the sky space. This is the same place where they were pacing at nightfall, where Omnitrans is gang stalking me and doing so by harassing me. That is driving right by me while I'm clearly waiting at the bus stop, just like these demons are here. Gang stalking under the fake sun. This is the pattern of conduct that the Fontana Police Department are fully engaged in. As you are documenting gang stalkers of any police department that are engaging, this is the beast system. They're going to be federally prosecuted, and that is automatically the prosecution of the people. All right, the stalkers that are in police uniforms can't do it without the people of the state. That's how they get away with. This is how they are cloaking themselves as though they're engaged in law enforcement, executing the duties of officers. That show that you saw the Fontana Police Department put on, Stalking by Helicopter, is the direct evidence that's putting all of them that I've documented in Fontana in prison. And Miss Aquanetta Taparamanisha Bonquisha, whatever her name is, this hood official is leaving office. She's not staying in office. This ongoing lawlessness is occurring under her watch, and she is a domestic enemy just like every other terrorist in every other city while they are maintaining a fake sun. I'm at the Arco in the morning while I'm in Fontana, as I documented that, and I documented Vactor, the vagina monitor, and City of Fontana vagina monitors maintaining flashing of light right here at this intersection, and the fake sun is over me. That was in the morning. It is currently 4:55 p.m. where the entity is stalking by commercial planes in the City of Fontana while the fake sun is over me. This is P.O.C. They are going to prison. I document them stalking in these vehicles with helicopters, and they are going to prison. License 98QS780. They also engage in criminal summoning together, and the people of the state are going to prison under those circumstances as well. This is P.O.C. This is the absence of any sun with regard to what is targeting in the city of Ontario. You already know the Mike LORENZ is stalking on an ongoing ceremonial basis. He has no hope for avoiding prison, and neither do the entity that are gang stalking. I want to be clear, Lila Van Doren's going to federal prison. This is how helpful the entity is. Tracy Banks, you already know she's going to federal prison. Stephanie Parker, you're going to federal prison, darling. Edwin Lamont Grant, Morgan Amanda Smith, Ariana Elena Lopez. We can keep going down the list because you all went into court gang stalking with this entity, and you're going to federal prison. The unintelligent entity that you're gang stalking me with. Conspiring my murder is what you did when you defamed my character in a gang stalking courthouse. When you are targeting just like these demons in Fontana, California, and you're going to prison for it because I know your name. P.O.C. It is currently 4:56 p.m. You see that light on the vehicle? It's engineered light. This is not the sun. And these are stalkers. And the entity controls the lights, so this is stalking in the path while the entity maintains surveillance on the roads and the highways. And this is the infamous Lewis Library in Fontana, California. License 9 Nancy Kelly Michael 192 is the co-conspirator of murder and terrorism with the Fontana Police Department, that is the City of Fontana, that provided you an exposition regarding mental illness that is shared by a population united in not only criminal conduct but demon possession, which is the behavioral health concern regarding the psychopathic urge and impulse and desire and conspiracy to murder and kidnap. This is what the City of Fontana is engaging in. While the entity is reaching across the street with impossible light, those are the terrorist omnitrans that are demons who cannot stop monitoring my vagina. They can't stop molesting my person. This is what the employees number 4416, employees number 3400, the demons that are engaging in the pattern of conduct, and they're engaging in this under a fake sun that remains through the windows of those buses, but not when I'm walking on the street and I'm walking 2 to 3 miles per hour and the sun is not moving. And it's certainly not going to remain over 9720 Juniper Avenue, like is the case when I'm aboard Omnitrans at all hours of the day. But the entity is engaging in this pattern of conduct, and I want to be clear, this is the same Spring Street. While I was inside of that library where Omnitrans is stalking. Omnitrans is the vagina monitor. They're keeping me under surveillance inside of this building where the fake sun is moving right now in alignment to me. It's going to be at the same intersection where it was as I arrived today, and it was over that building, and where it is here.
And Omnitrans would like to posit that that sunlight that's reaching across the street, we'll use that because I'm going to prosecute that business. That's called psychological torture. And while they engage in it and practice it, it will be the basis, the evidence of their mental illness, their criminal conduct, which is also mentally ill. And you know that they are demons. This is the Nephilim. This is the beast system. There is no environment where anyone else is going to have any sun over the sky space. This is how you know the beast system is underway in the United States, number one. Number two, the P.O.C. is providing you hard, tangible evidence, undeniable evidence, that that is exactly what I'm documenting. This is the case. The fake sun is in the same position it is at 8:30 in the morning. 8:35 when I'm standing here, and you're looking at the street sign, I'm standing facing this street. This is the illusion, the unintelligent illusion that's going to put demons driving Omnitrans buses in prison and in mental institutions. They like to engage in sexual assault and battery with engineer light as monitoring demons, conspiring murder, and doing so while being engaged in the business that's clearly not making enough money because they're trying to steal from me. The entity that is driving coaches. The entity has the fake sun here at 8:35 in the morning. This is the illusion. It's still here, and it is currently 6:13 p.m. And as you saw, the demon possessed in a helicopter engaging in psychopathic pacing, which is what traffic is in the engineer light. All they're doing is pacing and they're stalking all together. That's why the fake sun is here, while the demons of the Fontana Police Department engage in an exhibit which is going to be used by medical professionals to diagnose and criminally convict the demons of the Fontana Police Department. The entity is going to produce their identities. They are going to prison. They are going to be subject to mental examinations. The entity that engages in that size of criminal conduct is also facing disbanding. It's not just the basis of kidnapping like Mike Lorenz of Ontario Police. Alrighty, and Marcelo Blanco of Upland Police, okay? And you have Darren Goodman before that terrorist transferred to San Bernardino Police Department. The entities engaged in this P.O.C. and the fake sun is over me in the afternoon when I am leaving. And the entity's flying in circles, and that was 5 hours ago, over 5 hours ago, and here it is still here. But we can back up to what is 8:35 in the morning. When I'm in the city of Fontana, I've walked through the neighborhood, I documented this fake sun moving over me through everyone's facilitating venues. And the entity is keeping the fake sun here. That is prosecution for an entity driving an engineer light, present in that engineer light, stalking and terrorizing in that engineer light, engaging in what is psychological torture, that engineer light, and in that environment where that engineer light remains and that engineer light is present to monitoring you. Your children are being monitored. Your children's genitalia are being monitored. You are being monitored in your home. Privacy is an illusion in the United States, and the hostile demon-possessed entity are facing time in prison, where many of them will expire. But not only that, they're going to mental institutions where they will never be released. They're going to continuously progress with regard to mental illness. Not only that, the entity is going to pay damages at a level that has never been contemplated before because of companies that have conspired murder by maintaining the surveillance system, like you see Amazon Prime stalking me at the Lewis Library at 9:35 in the morning, flying over my head where the Fontana Police Department engages in the same thing at the same venue. And that evidence in and of itself is a prosecution of the entity. 9:35 to after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the fake sun's over the same person at the same venue. That's impossible. That is targeting. This is P.O.C. This is 6:15 p.m. where the entity is gang stalking through every single last business, every establishment, every household. And you're looking at that in every city as I'm showing you the P.O.C. from city to city, county to county. You can go vehicle to vehicle. There is no exception, and there will be no different treatment under federal law. This entity is exceedingly enthusiastic to be prosecuted, to be identified. They don't have any privacy, and they will not experience any privacy. This is the entity that engages in what they are enticed by violating your privacy unbeknownst to you, by violating you in ways that you are presumably ignorant about. These are psychopaths and violent sex offenders, and they give birth to demons who are monitoring you. They give birth to sex offenders who are born out the womb monitoring. P.O.C. This is a population of mentally ill people who are engaging in criminal conduct, and the government is monitoring you. This is the beast system. This is P.O.C. in Fontana, California. Miss Aquanetta, Acretia, I'm not sure, Aquanetta Warren, all right, this thug from Compton, she's going to be removed from office. Sending the Fontana Police Department to fly circles over me was her public resignation, okay? This is the entity, she's being removed. She's not a mayor. You're not staying in office. This is P.O.C. It is currently 6:16 p.m. All right, this is employee 4439. Gang stalking license plate 1399978. Gang stalking also with the Fontana Police Department and the entity gang stalking at the Fontana Metrolink train station, engaging in sexual assault and battery, stalking with the Ontario International Airport as I'm documenting in the images, and harassing for the duration of the route. This is the prosecution of the people of the state, and Omnitrans represents the state. This is P.O.C. License plate, again, 1399978, bus 1263. That's federal prison, okay? I took pictures of the gang stalkers on the bus, and the Ontario Police Department are gang stalking, and they are going to be facing federal prison along with the people of the state. This is the entity stalking as I get off the bus, speaking to tracking my steps, stalking me, monitoring me from city to city, on the roads and the highways. This is P.O.C. This is Impossible Light, stalking. 9 Paul Sam Victor 130, I believe. This is Metro 102, that is gang stalking. This is the pattern of conduct. This is 10:37 p.m. as you see, as I get off the bus. And the entity is stalking me in particular. This is all they're doing in helicopter. The entity is monitoring me, and the entity is exposing what Omnitrans is. They're gang members engaging in what is life-threatening criminal activity because they are on the roads and the highways, operating vehicles while they're gang stalking, and doing so with hostility because they're being documented. And they are going to federal prison. This is the P.O.C. It is currently, like I stated, 10:37 p.m., 10:38 p.m.